Pitcher of the Astros, number 14, A.J. Hinch. Leading off, the second baseman, number 27, Jose Altuve. Batting second, the right fielder, number 4, George Springer. Batting third, the shortstop, number 1, Carlos Correa. Hitting cleanup, the left fielder, number 28, Colby Rasmus. Batting fifth, the first baseman, number 13, Tyler White. Batting sixth in center field, number 30, Carlos Gomez. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, number 20, Preston Tucker. Batting eighth, the third baseman, number 18, Luis Valbuena. Batting ninth, the catcher, number 15, Jason Castro. And in the bullpen, warming up, your starting pitcher, number 31, Colin McHugh. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2016 Houston Astros.
If that doesn't get you fired up, I have to question whether or not you have a pulse.
I really got chills right there when they were showing the video, all the noise coming from the stands. Really an incredible setting.
Well, there's nothing like lining up on that baseline and having the crowd going crazy. The excitement, the adrenaline's pumping. Like I said, these guys can't wait for the first pitch.
And that's exactly what's happening with these players right now.
First pitch comes your way next.
Minute Maid Park, it's the Astros home opener. Kansas City Royals in town for a rematch of the ALDS. Everyone's ready to get this one going, but maybe no one more than Colin McHugh, who was only able to record 1 out in his first start against the New York Yankees. He said, "What start?" when I asked him about it, so he is ready to put that one behind him and pitch a lot better in this one. Now, he's faced Kansas City before, twice. He did it in the postseason last year, none in the regular season. Won one and lost one. Game 1 is where he started in the postseason, getting that first playoff start under his belt, feeling really good. And that one, you're watching video and highlights from the ALDS back then. He was good because he was coming in on lefties. His curveball was working. He was throwing it for strikes. But Game 5, a little more flat in that game and got knocked around a bit. He went only 4 innings in that outing, 3 earned runs, but total of 10 innings, 5 earned in both starts against the Kansas City Royals. Tonight, he's looking to throw more fastballs and more changeups, something he's been working on this spring training. He's coming in with some confidence from last year, 19 wins, putting everything behind him from spring training as far as how he pitched, because he knows he can do this. And of course, that last start against the Yankees, putting that behind him as well. It's time to get started. Brownie, Ash, and Blummer will be with you next with lineups and first pitch.
You could see it from the very beginning. Baseball at its very best, with playoff-level atmosphere and intensity in every pitch and every play. Two teams pushing, willing, lifting one another to a level of greatness that would only soar higher on baseball's biggest stage. The Astros struck first and loudest, a shock-and-awe campaign that electrified an entire city and pushed the Royals to the brink of elimination. But the Royals responded like champions, and with lightning precision, they snatched away the Astros' dream season and propelled themselves to a championship.
Obviously, we want to go take it to the world champions. Kansas City's done some amazing things the last couple of years, and we want to beat them. Simple as that. We feel like we can. We feel like we should have. And we got some unfinished business.
It's a new season now, but the memories remain, and it's time to test the limits once again.
It was tough. You know, we felt like we had them, and we felt like we played the best baseball. You know, it hurts more when you play better than the other team and they still beat you, than if they just play better than you and they just beat you. We were the better team on the field, 4 out of 5 games, and we still lost the series, so it's obviously tough.
I feel like we're definitely a playoff team now, which we proved, and you know, now we just have to prove that we have what it takes to win everything.
The Houston Astros, elevated by their near miss, motivated by what might have been, driven by youthful exuberance and a passion for greatness.
Where we look back, but we don't stay there. We move forward. It's going to be our year. We're going to play good baseball, and we're going to get back to the playoffs and hopefully face the Royals again.
The Kansas City Royals battle-tested and determined to beat back the team that pushed them to the ultimate just 6 months ago.
Then we're going to play our hearts out and hopefully come out with this division title.
It's time for the Astros to rise up again because it's opening day in Houston and the champs are back in town.
Such a great day in baseball. Home opener for the Houston Astros. Welcome back into our telecast here on Root Sports. Bill Brown and Alan Ashby to get it started. Jeff Blum will join us later. Julia Morales is here at Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, where the Astros had a 53-28 regular season record a year ago. Colin McHugh taking the mound for the first time this season. And Colin McHugh has had a couple of outstanding years back-to-back with the Houston Astros. Wednesday in New York, though, he lasted just 1/3 of an inning in the cold, giving up 3 hits, 5 earned runs. Last year against Kansas City in those 2 playoff starts, 1-1. Last year at home, 12-3 with a 3.73 ERA. Hoping to be able to get a much better feel for the baseball than he had in New York.
With a good feel, Brownie. Last year he allowed just over a hit an inning over the course of the season. In fact, if you go back to that first year he joined the Astros, 2014, he allowed just 117 hits in 154 2/3 innings. So he's capable of big things. With the big things came 19 wins last year, and the Astros would love a repeat of that.
The Royals have won 3 in a row. They just came off a 3-game sweep of Minnesota. It's their first road game. They begin with Alcides Escobar, the shortstop. Mike Moustakas is at third base with Lorenzo Cain, the center fielder. Eric Hosmer at first base. The DH is Kendrys Morales. Alex Gordon plays left field with Salvador Perez, the catcher. Omar Infante's at second base. Raymond Fuentes is the right fielder. And their pitcher is the big 6'10 right-hander, Chris Young. Escobar gets it started. The outstanding fielding shortstop for the Royals begins the night at .217 with no homers, 1 RBI. And there's strike 1.
Yeah, that was a big swing right away, trying to hit something hard.
The Royals are an excellent fastball hitting team. And they do make contact against some of the best fastballs in the majors. No balls, 2 strikes.
There's that heater up to 91 for Colin. That's a number we haven't been seeing in recent games from Astros starting pitching.
Escobar was a Gold Glove winner last year. He's 29 years old, from Venezuela. Curveball is punched over second base and into shallow right center field, where it's caught by Carlos Gomez. The smoke is still clearing from the pyro on the pregame, which was excellent. Clay Walker sang the national anthem with that big American flag being held out in the outfield by Astros season ticket holders. Smoke still clearing as Mike Moustakas gets into the box. Moustakas, a .250 hitter, has 2 homers, 3 runs batted in. The shift is on for him. There is strike 1. Adrian Johnson is the home plate umpire. Moustakas is 27 years old, from Chatsworth, California, a first-round pick in '07. Off speed takes it to a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
That curveball is right over the top right now for Colin.
Moustakas drove in 82 last year, hitting 22 homers for the Royals. And it's in the air, and the infielders come in. Jason Castro's underneath and making the play. 2 down.
So right on the heels of that curveball, we see the fastball pumped up. This comes to you by way of MD Anderson Cancer Center. And not an easy play for a catcher right out in front of the plate, but handled nicely by Jason Castro. Yeah, that effective fastball up after the curveball, nice from Colin. It's already doubled his outs here tonight from that first start.
Lorenzo Cain has a homer, an RBI, a .235 batting average. Looking at ball 1. Cain is a 29-year-old player for a couple more days anyway. who was third in the MVP voting last year, hitting .307, 16 homers, 72 runs batted in. A lot of great work in the outfield. That's on the edge for a strike.
This fastball spotted well, again at 90. So Colin's throwing for him fairly typical but hard, and controlling it well.
Just off the plate, Kane takes ball 2. The Royals had a last at bat thrilling win in the 10th inning at home yesterday over the Minnesota Twins. They're off to a 4-1 start. And a foul ball takes the count to 2-2 with Hosmer on deck.
And they've been doing it with 1-run wins, so they've been in tight games. They beat Minnesota all 3 games those 2 teams matched up. Royals are not scoring a whole lot offensively, but pitching very well.
And of course, with their playoff run, they are used to this electric atmosphere. That was their first World Series title since '85. But they've been the American League champions the last 2 years, losing Game 7 of the World Series in 2014. So this Royals club, very experienced, won 95 games last year, won its division by 12 games. Great Houston crowd tonight. A lot of them wearing orange. It's an orange out 4-game series. Curveball struck him out. McHugh has a 1-2-3 first. The Astros come up against Young in just a moment. One, 2, 3 fashion. Here's the Astros lineup tonight for A.J. Hinch, and it's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Jose Altuve leads it off at second base. George Springer's in right field with Carlos Correa, the shortstop. The cleanup man is left fielder Colby Rasmus. He's followed by Player of the Week in the American League, Tyler White at first base, Carlos Gomez in center field, Preston Tucker the DH, Luis Valbuena at third base, Jason Castro is the catcher.
Veteran right-hander Chris Young, big guy on the hill, but doesn't throw like the big guy. The challenge with Young is being able to center up his fastball, which a lot of hitters feel like is just elusive. Simple as that. 0-1 on the season and 11-6 last year for these KC Royals.
Jose Altuve is first up. Smoke still hasn't cleared there, has it? With the roof on. And of course, we've had threatening weather today, and that's why the roof is not open as it had been planned. Line to left field. Altuve starts the game in a similar fashion to yesterday when he hit the game's first pitch for a homer in Milwaukee.
So Altuve with that aggressive approach now back. Saw him come out of spring training, really taking a lot of pitches, but starting to sting the baseball yesterday. Hit that monstrous home run on the first pitch of the ball game. This from the Mattress Firm Super Mo, and you can see that swing, the eyes all over the baseball for Jose Altuve.
Altuve is a table setter for George Springer. Altuve leads the league in steals, but Salvador Perez is quite a defensive weapon for the Royals. He takes off, and Perez does not make a throw. Altuve very aggressively on the first pitch, singles to left. On the second pitch, steals a base.
And that's 5 bags already for Jose. And yes, he is very aggressive right now. Great jump. Just puts the head down, digs into the bag. That was going to be really tough for Perez if there was any shot at all.
And the pitch was ball 1 to Springer, a 167 hitter. Young throws, and it's a 1-1 count now. George hit a grand slam homer at Yankee Stadium. He's driven in 4 for the season. Now has this early RBI opportunity. Springer was 2 for 11 in the Milwaukee series. Ground ball to third. Moustakas looks Altuve back. Takes care of out number 1.
Altuve had another form of theft on his mind right there. Back toward the bag at second, but was trying to time one on that throw. Just didn't have the legitimate shot to get to third.
Carlos Correa really went off against the Yankees in New York. He's hit .304 with 3 homers, 4 runs batted in. Had a 4-hit game Wednesday at Yankee Stadium, including his 2nd and 3rd homers of the season. And that 4-hit game with the 2 homers was reminiscent of Game 4 of the ALDS here against Kansas City. The second baseman Infante moves up the middle, not too far from the base. Altuve shoots a look over his left shoulder to make sure of his location. That's ball 1. Young, with that 6'10" frame, is 36 years old, has really gone through a lot of seasons of experience in the big leagues. First came up with the Texas Rangers in '04. He had been drafted by Pittsburgh in the 3rd round in 2000. And he turns back towards second. Last year he was 11-6 for Kansas City. His ERA was 3.06. He made 34 appearances, 18 as a starter. A swingman who really helped this club. And he won a game in the World Series. Born in Dallas at the Highland Park High School. 2-0 to Correa. Young went on to play basketball at Princeton University. His family has strong Texas roots. His father went to TCU. His mother went to SMU. He's listed at 6'10", 280. Correa fouls it. It's 2-1. His listed jersey size, Ash, is size 54 with a 16.5 size shoe.
That's a big fella out there, but again, he doesn't throw like that big fella. We saw a big swing from Carlos Correa, trying to loosen up some of that New York state of mind that he had a few days ago.
Young 4-1 lifetime against Houston with a 4.67 ERA. And he turns back towards second. Really watchful on Altuve. This would be the time to steal third with 1 out.
Of course, then there's the thinking, do you want to have movement out there with Correa at the plate? Always battling with those issues.
It's 2-2.
Well, that was a great changeup on a 2-1. Excellent count to come up with that pitch. Watch the effect of this pitch. Fast arm speed. Ball just came floating up there.
Yeah.
So leaves you in front as a hitter.
He really does. As you've said, his fastball is not what's causing the smoke in here, but nonetheless, he's very effective, Ash.
Plenty of smoke, and you hope it stays that way. That's coming from good things with the Astros.
In the air to right field, and there's a diving attempt by Raymond Fuentes. 1-0 Houston. Altuve scoring. Correa RBI double. Fuentes laid out for that Correa double, his 2nd of the year, on the liner to right.
Well, there's some of that pop. It's not home run pop, but that line drive uncatchable in right field. And with 2 strikes, that is the way you do it in the major leagues. This young man can do everything at an exceptional level. I think Correa wondered for a few moments whether that ball would be caught.
Well, Fuentes give it a valiant try. Now Colby Rasmus. Infield shifted around, playing him to pull. Very popular figure here with the fans in Houston. He has 2 homers, 4 runs batted in, a .294 batting average.
As you talked about his popularity, some of the fans trying to break into a Colby chant.
He looks at it, and it's ball 1 to Colby. Colby has walked 5 times. He had a 2-home run, 4 RBI game Saturday night in Milwaukee. A.J. Hinch's club firing out on top, 1-0 early. Colby takes it 2-0. Young, though, can be a mystery, as you've said, to these hitters, Ash. It's difficult for them to pick up that baseball out of his hand sometimes, so he can be effective throwing fastballs up, and they're not 98.
Heard Jeff Blum talking before the game today about how his fastball tends to be rather flat-planed, which says he's not fully taking advantage of his height. But sometimes it's that flat-plane heater that hitters just simply don't get to. Watch from behind. Probably the changeup just away.
The Royals have been home for their first 5 games of the year. That's in for a strike, and it's 2-2 to Rasmus.
Just continues to tantalize in and out of the strike zone, different speeds. Looked like a little cut job coming back to the plate.
Young, in his first start of the year, was a 2-0 loser to the Mets on Tuesday at Kauffman Stadium. Neil Walker with a 2-run homer off him. Rasmus to right. Colby Rasmus. 2-run shot. 3-0 Houston.
That's the way you get started. Big swing by Carlos Correa to really kind of get things flowing here in the inning, but then Colby Rasmus drops the thunder on the Royals.
Home run number 3, 6 runs batted in for Rasmus. The Astros now have hit 13 long balls as a team, and they've hit homers in their first 7 games of the season, a new club record. Tyler White taking strike 1. Checks in at .556. White has 3 homers, 9 runs batted in, leads the league in runs batted in, tied for the league lead in hits with 10, second in total bases. 0-2. Player of the week in his first week in the American League.
Along with Trevor Story of the Rockies, who wins it in the National League. Same story. And great story is the Astros would love this one to continue.
White takes a look at it, 1-2. He was surrounded in the clubhouse by the media before the game today. He's the first American League rookie position player to earn opening week player of the week honors in Major League history. The other player who did it was a pitcher, Salome Barojas of the White Sox, during the '82 season, his first week in the majors. Quite a way to break in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. This is Chris Young's 4th career start here at Minute Maid Park.
Tyler White has a way deep in the count of getting everything settled down. Takes pitches well. And again, he's an aggressive hit first kind of guy that draws walks. Those walks come because pitchers, rightly so, fear his bat and the power potential.
He went 0 for 3 with a walk yesterday to snap his opening 5-game hitting streak. Fastball hit in the air and out of play.
Fastball up to 89. That's kind of a high level for Young.
Well, no Astro had ever collected 10 hits and 3 homers in his first 6 career games until Tyler White did it. J.R. Tolles had 9 runs batted in his first 6. Out to center field. Kane. 2 outs.
That ball's hit pretty well, but you have to learn this ballpark. Colby Rasmus got it up right through the heart of the plate and up and just destroyed it. He was doing some pummeling the other day in Milwaukee as well. Takes a 1-0 game, makes it 3-0 in the first inning. That's a big difference.
Excellent point, Ash. That allows Colin McHugh to get by with a mistake or 2. Up 3 early. Carlos Gomez. Ground ball. Moustakas diving to his left. Takes it over to first for out number 3. It's 3 runs, 3 hits, and the big fly came from Rasmus. Number 3 of the season for Colby. Gives the Astros a 3-0 advantage after 1.
It's been behind us for 3-4 years now when we've struggled. So to have some success and to see the city kind of be able to kind of rally around that success is really satisfying. And I think that this year crowds are going to be fun. Crowds are going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be packed. Hopefully every time we're here at Minute Maid, and it's an exciting feeling to know that I had something to do with it, that we were able to kind of cultivate that in some way.
Are you looking for it? Colin McHugh with the Geico quote of the day, the number 2 starter on this staff. 2 years ago, we were trying to figure out who this guy was. A rookie having a great first year in 2014, and how far has he come? Talking about those Houston fans, he is really happy with the entire Houston organization for giving him a chance. His career has been all over the map, guys, so really happy to be a Houston Astro and be able to pitch for this team and hopefully for years to come, guys.
Thank you, Julia. There's ball 1 to Eric Hosmer, one of the clutch hitters on this Kansas City club. The cleanup man. He had a big hit for them yesterday in their win. In for a strike to Hosmer for a 1-ball, 1-strike count. He has begun the season at .222, no homers, 2 runs batted in, but last year he drove in 93 during the regular season, 17 more in the postseason for Hosmer. That's a foul ball on the breaking pitch, and it's 1-2.
That is a massive postseason with 17 RBIs.
He had been 0 for 14 until he came up in the 9th inning yesterday against the Twins closer Glenn Perkins. He ripped an RBI triple to left field. He scored the tying run on a sac fly by Kendrys Morales, and then they won it in the 10th. That is an awfully big postseason, and it will not be forgotten in Kansas City for many, many years. Fastball fouled away. Just the tremendous postseason rally there by the Kansas City fans. just inundating downtown Kansas City to welcome the Royals in that parade. And then all the pomp and circumstance of opening day this season, the World Series trophy, the rings have been handed out. It's quite a start. Altuve to his left, down on his knees. One out for McHugh.
Altuve found himself on that spot just beyond the grass where the dirt and grass come together. You can get some bad hops there, so he just simply gets down on his knees and assures himself that he keeps it in front.
The Royals have scored 19 runs in their first 5 games. That doesn't rank very high in the American League right now, but their pitching has been excellent. Kendrys Morales at 176 has a homer. He's driven in 3. It's upstairs, ball 1. Morales had that big sac fly we talked about yesterday. He's a switch hitter who drove in 106 last year. Hit 3 homers against the Astros in the division series and another one in the American League Championship Series. 2-0. Morales began his career with the Angels, then he was with the Twins and Seattle. Out to center field, Gomez with the play, 2 down. Alex Gordon will follow. Gordon, as you know, if you've been following baseball over the winter, was a free agent, and the Royals brought him back with a long-term deal, the richest in their franchise history. .176 so far for Gordon with 1 RBI. Alex is 32 years old.
I think that big contract speaks a lot to the defensive abilities of Alex Gordon. If you look at over the last 3 years, the highest he's hit was last year at 271. Does have some home runs, will drive in some runs, but that defensive side, he's considered one of the best in left field.
He certainly is, and he's a converted third baseman. 0-2. McHugh is working different pitches, changing speeds and location.
Off speed with that curveball, and again right over the top, bends it right to the knees.
Colin in his 1/3 of an inning at New York threw 43 pitches. Fastball fouled away. Well, this Royals club has been pretty generous. And why not? It was the season of a lifetime for many Kansas City Royals fans. That's out to right center field and in for a hit. Gomez comes over to pick it up. He was positioned over toward left center field, and there was no doubt that that Gordon fly ball was going to drop in.
It's that curveball again, and this time waits back just enough to put the end of the bat on it, and maybe the best for Gordon, enabling it to dunk into right center.
Salvador Perez is the batter. Perez at 294 has 1 RBI. The infield shifts around on him, playing him to pull. 26-year-old catcher who was an all-star last year. He drove in 70 last season. And he was rewarded with a new contract extension also over the winter. The Royals did not have to do it. He was not in line to become a free agent. But they felt that in light of the fact that they were world champions and he had been a significant contributor, and the fact that he signed a below market value deal, they would step it up for him.
He's become a real stalwart behind the plate.
And some people even think, Ash, that he might have caught too much the last few years.
I bet he wouldn't agree with that assessment.
Probably not. Right side of the infield is wide open for Perez. He pops it up. Tyler White over into foul territory to end the Royals' second with no runs a hit and a man left. The Astros lead it 3-0. Houston Astros baseball on Root Sports is presented by Neighbors Emergency Center, the best neighbors ever, making lives better. And by Southwest Airlines, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Well, there's a street festival outside the ballpark starting at 2 this afternoon, a pep rally. We hear the voice of Steve Sparks, Astros radio broadcaster, in the background, emceeing that street rally, and there's a Mohawk.
That is really Mohawk.
Yeah, that's not faux hawk, that's Mohawk. Ball 1 to Preston Tucker. He has slugged his way through the first week of the season, and he's hit in all 5 games in which he's played. Boy, he ended the game yesterday with one of the hardest hit balls we saw, and it was a line drive back into the pitcher's glove, Ash.
Glove was just in position where the line drive came. It was more ball catching glove than the other way around.
385, 2 homers, 3 runs batted in for Tucker. And in for a strike. Evan Gattis is expected to rejoin the Astros during this 4-game series. Preston Tucker probably need not worry about his spot on the 25-man roster.
Well, he's swinging the bat as well as anybody.
It's 2-2, and another note for you from Corpus Christi, where Evan Gattis has been playing. Lance McCullers is making a rehab start for the Hooks tonight. He's working his way back into the Houston rotation. Valbuena and Castro to follow here in the second against Young. Out to second baseman Infante. 1 out for Young. We send our best wishes to Robin Barrow, who usually is in the dugout, the Astros dugout, the low first position, as one of our cameramen. But last Friday he had triple bypass surgery. This would have been Robin's 30th opening day at the camera. He's in Herman Hospital, Memorial City. Robin, get well. We hope to see you back soon. And next year will be your 30th. Luis Valbuena takes strike 1. 263 for Valbuena. No homers. 2 runs batted in. Just great day here with all the festivities, all the orange worn by the fans tonight. This is an orange out series. Fouled away 0-2, and it does kind of remind us of those playoff games last fall, Ash.
Very much so. They've got the, I can't remember what you call them, the bats that make an enormous amount of noise, but yeah, it's got that same feel.
Some kind of sticks. Can't remember the exact terminology for them. Thunder sticks.
Thunder sticks, yeah.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Valbuena.
Obi Rasmus had the thunder stick working in the first inning.
That makes it 3-0 Houston, but this Kansas City club came from behind to win 40 times in the regular season last year. And a club with a lot of character and a lot of fight that was demonstrated throughout the playoffs. They had 8 comeback wins in the postseason alone last year.
They added 1 already in the start of this season, 50 now since the beginning of last year.
There's a lot of room in right center. Kane shaded to left center. Valbuena flares it back foul. It's a chance to reset, if you will, for the Astros after a 2-4 road trip to cold cities, New York and Milwaukee. And if they're not charged up by the energy here at Minute Maid Park tonight, maybe somebody should have a physical.
I think you could go well beyond physical on that.
Boy,
have to examine the head.
Great atmosphere. And you know, these players were part of this whole thing that built throughout the season last year, Ash, and culminated with that series against Kansas City. Just a special year last year.
It was that. And I think the players on the team universally feel that this year can be better. Of course, that takes the grind. There are no guarantees. You don't just step up to the next step because last year was good. So we'll see how it all grinds out.
Ball 2 to Valbuena. The Astros, even though they got off to an 18-7 start last year, were at one point in April a couple of games below 500. as they are now. Infante knocks it down, has plenty of time to recover and get him 2 outs.
Catch the deal of the season with Coca-Cola Double Play Tuesdays. Get 2 View Deck 2 tickets for only $22 tomorrow night for tomorrow night's game against these Royals. Bring 2 Powerade labels to the Minute Maid Park box office to purchase your tickets.
Now that's a great deal. It'll be Chris Medlin making his first start of the year for Kansas City tomorrow night against Mike Fiers. 7:10 game time. 6:30 for the pregame show. Jason Castro's the batter. 063, looking for his first RBI. He got a bunt hit in Milwaukee after starting the season hitless. The shift was on, and he could do that again right now with the positioning of the Royals.
With nobody out, I wouldn't be at all surprised with 2 outs, maybe more so.
No balls, 2 strikes.
But there's nothing wrong with kick-starting a 2-out rally either. When you're scuffling, sometimes the calls don't go your way. It just compounds issues.
This is game 1 of a 7-game homestand. Castro's down on strikes. Young gets number 1 of the night after the tag by Perez. And after 2, it's 3-0 Astros.
Astros leading the Royals 3-0. We move to the top of the 3rd. Time to take a look at our Chevy Stro poll. Make sure you head over to the Root Sports SW Twitter page. It's the pinned tweet. You can vote in this poll. This is the question for today. Who will be the Astros' biggest challenge to a World Series title? Is it A, the Kansas City Royals, B, the division rivals, Texas Rangers, or the Chicago Cubs, who are projected to be very good this year, or is it someone else? Tweet your vote, and we will tell you later who wins, guys.
Thank you, Julia. Colin McHugh with a 3-0 lead moves to inning number 3. Omar Infante to lead it off. Infante, the second baseman, facing a pitcher who has thrown 9 fastballs, 9 cutters, 7 curves, and 1 change in the first 2 innings. Infante has hit .308. Last year, Omar was a .220 hitter for the Royals. He missed the postseason with a left oblique injury. And he didn't have a job necessarily guaranteed when he went to spring training this year. Christian Colon is also on their club. He plays some second base. That's pulled foul. Strike 1 to Infante. But the Royals were set as they came to spring training in terms of their position players after re-signing Gordon in left field. It's no balls, 2 strikes. Of course, they did not bring back Johnny Cueto, who signed with the San Francisco Giants and was in their postseason rotation. They made that big deal to get him from Cincinnati. Off the plate for ball one. Raymond Fuentes on deck. Curveball, got him looking. Strikeout number 2.
Nice blend of effective pitches for Colin this evening. And that curveball last year would be the #1 pitch that induces the strikeout. Tough to pull the trigger with that curve on the inside edge.
'25-year-old Ray Fuentes steps up. Corner infielders pinch in on the speedy outfielder. And the fastball apparently a little bit up. Ball one. Fuentes with 2 runs batted in. He's a cousin of Carlos Beltran. He's from Orlando, Florida, living in Puerto Rico. Ground ball. Correa diving, can't hold on to it, and got a bit of a late start to his right, and that ball trickles through for a single into left field.
At times as an infielder, you take a read on the swing. See if Correa moves to his left at all. Almost a little tiny step hop in that direction before moving back right.
Fuentes is aboard for Escobar now. Escobar hit a fly ball to center first time up. The Royals were 6th in runs scored in the American League. They were 3rd in ERA last year. Pitching really has a lot to do with why they're so good, but they are a clutch hitting team. And we saw that certainly in Game 4 of that ALDS here as they came from behind by 4 runs to win it. They had the lowest strikeout rate in the American League last year, but they were tied for the lowest walk rate. And they were next to last in homers. They run the bases hard. Fly ball off the end of the bat goes out towards Springer in right. 2 down.
Yeah, I think those stats you bring up make you wonder. You ask yourself, well, if you strike out less, do you have a better chance of being successful? The other handful of teams, and maybe 6 teams just above them with least strikeouts, didn't do well at all last year. So it's a blend.
Houston Methodist showing you the percentage of swings and misses. The Cubs and Astros were tops in swinging and missing. Kansas City was the team that swung and missed the least in the majors. And they had a .269 team batting average. That was tied for the best in the American League. They were 7th in total bases. And the idea being they did put people on base. They delivered in the clutch. They did not use a lot of home run balls to score their runs. The Astros did.
6 swings and misses for the Royals on 21 swings tonight. So not exactly sure what that means on the overall, but again, they're a team that doesn't swing and miss a lot.
Yeah, and they really can hit the flame-throwing fastball pitchers very well. Moustakas looks at ball one, and the Royals are known for their flame-throwing relievers.
I think that's the #1 thing that comes to most of the baseball people's minds when you think of Kansas City and their Royals' great arms in the bullpen.
Even though they are a good comeback team, as the count goes to 1-1 on Moustakas, it's very difficult for other teams to come from behind if the Royals have a lead after 6 innings.
We just got done seeing the Astros did anyway. The New York Yankees, and that bullpen has a chance very soon with Aroldis Chapman rejoining after 30 days to be as tough as any in baseball.
Fuentes back on the throw by McHugh. The Astros have allowed 5 steals in 7 tries in their first 6 games. Well, both of these teams are in divisions that could be very tightly bunched. Good balance in the AL West and the AL Central this year. Upstairs, and it's 2-1. Giordano Ventura will oppose Scott Feldman in the Wednesday night 7-10 start here, with newcomer Ian Kennedy to the Royal rotation, going Thursday night against Doug Fister. Gomez is in left center, but the infielders are playing Moustakas to pull. And he does pull, but it's fouled. 2-2. The cut fastball can be a very good weapon for Colin McHugh against a left-handed batter.
That 2-1 count right there was a legitimate fastball count. We've talked about it recently. One way to counteract that ability for the hitter to jump on a pitch he's looking for is put it right on the hands, and that's exactly what that was.
Moustakas hits one out to left field. Rasmus with the catch. No runs, a hit, and a man left. The Astros lead 3-0 after 2.5. They had a double by Correa to drive in a run, a 2-run homer by Rasmus in the first. Yellowwood and the Astros are bringing the lumber in 2016. And we've seen some powerful swings in the early going, Ash.
Astros leading the league in home runs right now. They started one ahead of Seattle. That Seattle ball club looks like they might be slamming the long ball for the season, but Tyler White's a big part of it. 3 guys now leading the club with 3 home runs apiece. This guy, Preston Tucker, is the leader in Major League Baseball for velocity off the bat right now. That's how well he's been swinging and hitting the ball. So they've got some guys that are thumping it around.
3-0 Houston, bottom of the third. Jose Altuve gets it started. He got the Astros first started on the first pitch from Young with a line drive left. Then on the next pitch, he stole second. And after a ground out, he came home on an RBI double by Correa. There's a foul ball, strike 1. Young, though, has retired 5 in a row after the Rasmus homer. Much earlier in Young's career, he had a no-hitter against Houston through 5 2/3 here in this ballpark and wound up with a win, allowing just 3 hits and 3 runs in 7. So 6-10 facing 5-6. And it's fouled 0-2.
And as you would easily guess on that equation, 5-6 won handily in the first inning.
Back in 2014, Young started 3 games against the Astros, and they hit 7 homers in his 17 innings against them. This time he gets a swing and a miss and strikes out Altuve, and there's an out registered with Perez throwing over to Hosmer, the first baseman. Strikeout number 2 for Young.
If you ever want to be safe on that play, and you see it so seldom, you better not have the ball hit you while you're starting to run down to first base. That's what Altuve did.
George Springer follows. He grounded out in the first inning. Young delivers strike 1. Chris was an all-star back in '07. He was with the Padres then. At one point in the 05 season, and prior to that, he had 25 consecutive road appearances without a loss from 05 through 07. Springer misses there and falls behind 0-2.
The big swing on the off speed and not really even coming close on that one.
Tapping it foul. Springer stays alive and no balls, 2 strikes. The Astros began the ninth third in runs scored in the American League with 28 in their 6 games. They had scored at least 4 runs in their first 5 games, but then they lost 3-2 yesterday in Milwaukee. And really hoping to get rid of some of those mistakes they made in yesterday's game. Foul back. After the Sunday finale with Detroit here, the Astros have next Monday off. Then they have a brief 3-game trip to Arlington to play the Texas Rangers before coming back here to meet Boston. It's a difficult stretch of games. Tapped, and here's Moustakas charging and throwing low to Hosmer, who saves him an error. Excellent play by Hosmer.
It's not that little short hop one that you can pick rather handily. Springer with the speed puts the heat on, and then that kind of in-between job that'll challenge a first baseman.
A first baseman with 3 Gold Gloves came up with a nice play. Carlos Correa is next. Correa doubled in the first run, taking a line drive to right field. Young delivers and throws a strike. The Astros were 4-2 against the Royals last season. That's a hit into left center field. Correa's 2 for 2. He's aboard for Rasmus with 2 outs.
He can handle anything. You get him hot, he will scald everything. And there are plenty of people who believe he's going to be a factor in the MVP race this year.
That's hit number 4 for the Astros. Rasmus hit one well out of here on a 2-2 offering back in the first inning. 3 home runs in the early going for Colby. And that drops in for strike 1. Jeff Plum will be joining Ash for the middle 3 innings. We have different combinations. This is a 4-game series, so all 3 of us are here for these 4 games. And that'll be the only time we'll have that format this season. Of course, Julia's here. And I think she's here the whole homestand, isn't she, Ash?
I believe so. I was wondering, is there any way we can coerce her, urge her to come join us in the broadcast?
Well,
upstairs.
We could do that. We got together for a picture earlier.
The fans want to see her out in the seats.
Bunted, and this will go for a hit. They're giving it to him, and he's taking it with 2 outs. The cleanup hitter lays one down for a single.
Look, if you're Colby Rasmus and you're being given a hit on the third base side and you know that you've got Tyler White behind you in the order, why not? That shift on, and the shift gets sliced up right here. And now you give Tyler White, the player of the week in the American League, the shot to try to drive in some more runs.
A very sensible approach by Rasmus, who has a homer and a bunt single. And now White, who worked the count full and hit a fly ball to center. How many times have you seen a cleanup hitter go deep his first time up and bunt for a hit the second time up?
Well, that would be slim pickings, I'm sure. I've seen Big Papi David Ortiz a handful of years ago, as all this shift stuff started to excel in terms of usage. Saw him drop down some bunts like that, trying to kind of incite a riot for his club.
5 hits for the Astros now. Correa and Rasmus again striking, as they did in the first inning. The check swing goes the Astros' way. Gary Cederstrom calling it a check by White, and it's 2-0 to Tyler. The great White. He's a daily interview now for the media covering this team, wanting to know as much as they can find out about his backstory growing up.
The lead story is he can hit.
2-1. I was asking him tonight about his hitting philosophy. There you see that. Trying to hold back. And of course, he went to Western Carolina University, as many people know. His father had coached him in high school, and he said he's had many debates with his dad about pulling the ball. His dad thinks he should pull it more. Shortstop Escobar tossing for the force play to Infante. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. Jeff Blum headed your way with Ash moving over to the play-by-play chair. It's 3-0 Astros after 3.
Astros leading the Royals 3-0, and 2016 Astros season tickets are on sale now. Enjoy some of the best seats at Minute Maid Park, save money, and receive great benefits throughout the season. Call 1-877-9-ASTROS to reserve your seats. Now, for the final piece of the puzzle, we've been missing you, Jeff Blum. He joins the booth. Alan Ashby up there as well. Hey, guys.
Hi, Julia. Yeah, Blummer's in. He's done with his coverage of the Masters.
Yes.
And how'd that all work out this year? I don't think we got word.
It was really good.
Yeah.
It was excellent. Unfortunately, Jordan bit it a little bit, but it was an absolute blast, as it always is, and I am very happy to be back right here.
And it's good to have you here, Blummer. And it has been very nice for the Astros here this evening. 3-0 lead as we go to the 4th inning. Colin McHugh has been sharp after having that rough first start against the Yankees. Lasted just 1/3 of an inning in that one. And I don't know if there are realistic reasons why a guy has one of those extremely tough nights and then turns it around right away. You have any thoughts on that?
Well, there's rough, and then there's what happened to Colin McHugh last time he was out there, getting only 1 out, which was interesting to me. But we talked about it before the game, how when Colin McHugh loses it a little bit, he loses it to the arm side, gets on the side. And I was in the food room talking to Mike Stanton, and we were talking about how Colin McHugh, if his front elbow is going towards home plate, he has a tendency to get behind that ball, be a little bit better with the pitches, and tonight it looks like he's made that adjustment.
Yeah, it seems like also the curveball has come around. He's right over the top on it. A couple of change-ups mixed in, and it's the Colin McHugh we have grown accustomed to watching the past couple of years.
And really attacking the zone.
And when we talk about the past couple of seasons for Colin, extremely impressive. Lorenzo Cain at the plate. Kane was the first of 2 strikeout victims on the evening for Colin. Colin came right out with a 1-2-3 first inning. Has yielded just a couple of base hits. Alex Gordon and Raymond Fuentes. So 2 hits for KC, 5 for the Houston Astros. And all 3 runs coming back in the first inning. And that was a quick strike and a very nice strike. You put a run on the board as Colin just does miss here.
It's kind of the beauty of this offense, too. They knew that Colin struggled a little bit. They were able to get in that first inning and drive in a couple runs. That's huge for Colin.
Yeah, talk about that difference between the 1-0 lead and then 3-0 after the home run that came off the bat of Colby Rasmus. As we watch the fly ball to right field, Springer with the catch and 1 out. So that's a big out as you get Lorenzo Cain. It brings up the 4-hitter Eric Hosmer. Colin McHugh threw 44 pitches to get 1 out in his first outing against the Yankees. Only 46 here this evening. But it is quite a different mindset when you score first. That's nice. You take a 1-0 lead, and then you get the big swing as Rasmus put up, and you have a 3-0 lead. And I think especially for the starting pitcher, what a change that can be. Well, hit sharply foul on the first base side.
Now the excitement of the crowd, I'm sure the adrenaline was pumping in that first inning. It was great to see Colin get through that inning in 1-2-3 fashion, give that offense a chance to run out there and keep this crowd going a little bit.
Defense swings a bit to the right side. Third baseman Valbuena drawn in. The Astros have had 2 hits since the first inning, back-to-back Correa and Rasmus in the third. That hit by Rasmus, the bunt that he dropped on the third base side. It's a 1-2 count.
How about the fact that Colby dropped down that bunt to get Tyler White at the dish?
That's exactly the way I saw it. Look, you're given the freebie. Go ahead and take it and bring the player of the week to the plate.
Yeah, I mean, it works for everybody. You move guys into scoring position. Tyler White feeling pretty good about himself, obviously, getting some new hardware in there. But you're creating opportunities, and you're also upping the pitch count on Chris Young, trying to get him out of there. Now, I'm not sure you want to do that with the Kansas City Royal bullpen.
You're a guy that has known the thrill of playing postseason ball. A lot of fan energy that comes your way as a player. Opening day, a lot the same way. Do you feel that same feeling on opening day?
Absolutely. Especially when you come here and open up in front of your home fans after a season like the Astros had last year. All the excitement, enthusiasm, and anticipation of this year. There's a great deal of pride wearing that Houston Astro uniform right now. It's good to see.
And on the ground right side, it gets by White, and because it does, Altuve maybe lost sight of the baseball. It's a base hit with 1 out here in the 4th inning.
We talked about the defense shifted around a little bit, not quite as extensive as we are used to seeing with the left-handed hitter up there, but still, Tyler White, in the infancy of his big league first base career, should have known that Altuve could have gotten there.
Yeah, and that's one of those feel things playing at first base. Do you know where your second baseman is, what he can handle, and what it's going to take for you to get back? Now, on that play, obviously, Colin would have had to be the first baseman.
Yep, and yeah, I was watching Colin as that ball was going into that 4-hole. Kind of hesitated a little bit because I think even he was anticipating Altuve making that play.
So Hosmer leads from first base, has not stolen a base this season, stole 7 in 10 tries last year. Kendrys Morales at the plate. He's the DH for the Royals and a dangerous hitter.
.106 RBIs last year for Kendrys Morales.
On a team that is not a big scoring team.
They do create a lot of opportunities, but Kendrys had a phenomenal year last year.
Switch hitter. Morales flied to center field in the 2nd inning. Colin has done a nice job picking on both sides of the plate this evening. And when you talk Morales and those 106 RBIs last year, he also hit 22 home runs. That on this Royals team that plays in a very big ballpark. McHugh finds the strike zone. Evens the count at 2-2. Morales had a very big year back with the Angels in 2009 when he clubbed 34 home runs. Had his other 100-plus RBI season that year, 108. Right off the end of the bat, and this one goes foul and a break for the Astros.
And I'm not too sure too many people anticipated Kendrys having that kind of year in Kansas City. Kind of scuffled a little bit in Seattle, floated through Minnesota with not much fanfare, but came over here and really took over for Brett Butler in that Kansas City lineup.
Was in Seattle parts of 2013 and 14, moved on to the Minnesota Twins. And yeah, those were not the big years of the numbers for Morales. That full shift is on for the left-hand hitter, but not needed as Colin McHugh goes up the ladder, picks up the strikeout, his third on the evening, and 2 down now for Alex Gordon.
It's a well-located cutter. It's kind of dangerous, I know, pitching up in the zone like that. Colin has gotten pretty good at it, but that late last second cut creates real issues trying to get the barrel to it.
Talking about some of the numbers for Colin last year, with his 19 wins, still not what they were the year before. The batting average against much higher, and how much of that would you imagine comes from hitters just having a little better idea about what he's all about?
I think that happens a lot. I think you anticipate a little bit. I know that he added the wrinkle with that cutter in there. He's had to make adjustments pitching up in the zone with Brent Strom, but for me, he's doing a great job of preparing. And to see him make the adjustment from that Yankee start to this start should be a good sign moving forward that he's willing to make those adjustments.
And I wonder how much that Yankee start could be attributed to the cold weather, inability to get a feel of the baseball.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more. Those cold weather situations definitely do not want to be a pitcher.
Brent Strom made comments about the Dallas Keuchel start in which he allowed a couple of runs. The Astros won it. That was opening night in New York. About it being as good a start as he's seen from Dallas. As Gordon drills one down the right field side, this goes to the wall. Springer's going to have to get it back in a hurry, and they'll hold the runner at third base. Hosmer at the last moment held up down at third base. So the work by Springer down in that right field corner, able to keep that run off the board. It's still 3-0, but runners at second and third for Perez.
Alex Gordon swinging the bat well here today with his second hit. But I just like where his swing is at right now. Short and direct to that ball, not too much movement, keeping it simple. George Springer did a great job of hustling down there. And these are two good defenses, so the third base coaches in this series are going to have a tough time trying to figure out who to send, when not to send, but a huge boost for McHugh knowing that the runner's going to stay at third base. Still has a chance to get out of this inning with no runs.
That third base coach, Mike Jershell, and he is well down the third base line as we speak.
Is it possible for the third base coach to be in a shift?
I would say you found it. I think that's the call. I thought there were rules about being in the box, but I don't think this is debatable. Colin just doesn't get the call here.
Is he trying to hide from the base runners?
Salvador Perez, the catcher at the plate, popped to first in foul territory in the second inning. And the 1-0. Good curveball for the strike.
Real good pitch. Our Lexus defensive rankings. Let's see what the Kansas City third base coach is looking at. Red lights. And those are big numbers. We've seen those numbers. We know how athletic the Houston Astros outfield is. Those are 3 center fielders right there, and that tells me that they go get the ball good. They field it cleanly, and they've got great arms.
Fastball gets in on the hands, and a pop-up in shallow center field. Altuve calling, and called off by Gomez, who makes the play. And that'll do it. Colin McHugh comes up with a big pitch with runners at second and third to get that final out of the inning. We played 3.5, 3-0 Houston.
We move to the bottom of the fourth. Celebrate Jackie Robinson Day with the Astros this Friday and enjoy a special pregame ceremony honoring Jackie's legacy and celebrating diversity in baseball. Purchase tickets by visiting Astros.com or calling 1-877-9-ASTROS. Here comes Carlos Gomez, and asking him about his favorite player. Well, he told me he had 3: Andrew Jones, Gary Sheffield, and Manny Ramirez. Saying Jones, he was my role model, beautiful career, he was the best center fielder to me. And then he said Manny, one of the best right-handed hitters of all times. I love how he prepared in his approach. Gary Sheffield, because he's aggressive, he has that mean face. You put all those 3 players together, you get me, guys.
Thank you, Julia, and that is the assessment of Carlos Gomez, huh?
You got to love this kid. There's no shame in that game.
Not at all. 6-hitter for the Astros. 0 for 1 on the night. Grounded to third as that ended the first inning. Chris Young misses up and in. It's a ball and a strike. I also was kind of intrigued by the love the way Manny Ramirez prepared comment.
That's the interesting thing, is because we both know that Manny was good enough.
Oh, he was great.
That he didn't need to prepare.
There you go. Well, you know, a lot of times we talk about, okay, so what's your philosophy when you go to the plate? And I think about this, and here's the way I go about it. And then as the pitch is popped foul to the third base side, it'll be back in the seats. 1-2 the count. And then you struggle, and you finally get to that point where you say, forget it. I'm just going to go up and get my hack, see the baseball, and that's when you get hot, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so maybe that's what makes a guy like Manny Ramirez so tough for so many years. Just go up there believing and get your hacks in.
Well, I played with Vladimir Guerrero, who I thought was one of the greatest right-handed hitters I ever had a chance to play with, but he really didn't have to prepare much. He was that good. And I remember there was one day game in Montreal. He was, you know, sitting in his sliding shorts, feet up, playing PlayStation. And I said, Vladdy, what are you doing? He goes, oh, I'm facing the pitcher we're going to face today. That's how we got ready.
You know, if it works, it works. That's the bottom line, right?
Exactly. Maybe I was the idiot that was in the cage for too long.
I'm glad you were able to make the analysis right there. Now, what's the, when you think back, the time when you say, you know, I'm kind of amazed that I ever did that, but it worked for me, moment in your career? Did you ever have one of those?
Yeah. Are you kidding me? There were several of those moments, Ash. I think.
Bat starts and he goes through. Home plate umpire taking that call. So Adrian Johnson with the call. First out of the inning. Third strikeout.
Oh, Vladdy, there he is. I think he's up for the Hall of Fame ballot next year, isn't he? There was not a pitch he couldn't absolutely destroy. You know, Tommy Glavine didn't have an answer for him. The big O, too. Oh, did you get that one, Vlad?
opposite field, and no doubt about it, huh?
What an incredible athlete.
With one out, it brings up Preston Tucker. Tucker grounded out to second in the second. Chris Young has been touched for 5 hits and 3 runs. The long ball by Colby Rasmus back in the first inning with a man aboard. Really the big swing of the ball game.
You were talking about, something I did that surprised me that it worked, and I think it was after another 0 for 20, and I got the idea. When we go on the road, the Astros give you these bat bags, and you put all the bats you're taking on the road, put them in there. I put, my dozen bats in there, and I put a bottle of Advil in the bag. Let it rattle around on the road trip. I got hot on the road. All because of Advil.
Well, see, you were thinking right at that point, right?
Well, like you said, there's a point where you just give in.
Yeah.
I had given in.
That's my experience. The guys that were red hot and they'd come back to the bench and you're looking at them thinking, why them and not me? And usually, as Tucker draws the walk with one out, usually that guy just says, I'm just seeing it. It looks big to me right now.
And when you are going good, and all those guys that say they are going good, when they come back to the dugout, like you're saying, Ash, they're like, I just see it and I react. As soon as you hear a hitter say they react, they're locked in.
Yep. So Preston Tucker aboard, one out. Luis Valbuena at the plate. He, like Tucker, grounded out to second in that second inning. Tucker held on at first base by Eric Hosmer. And there's that big swing by Luis Valbuena. We check in with Julia once again.
Yeah, guys, Jeff Bagwell, a part of the pregame ceremonies, was down in the dugout. Valbuena comes out with all of his bats, hands them over to Baggy and says, I need help. I need you to touch these, kiss these. So what did Baggy do? He kissed his bats. So here we go. Let's check out and see how that works.
Now, Julia, that's insight. That's Major League Baseball insight, and it's so accurate.
I would do the same thing.
Well, see, you've got that feel of a Major League player, though. Ball and a strike. Valbuena looking for that first home run of the season. Hitting .250. This one is rammed into right center field, and nobody's going to get to it. One hop up against the wall. Here comes Tucker to third. He's being waved home. The relay to the plate is not in time, and into third base, Valbuena. It'll be an RBI double, making it 4-0. And with one out, the Astros have a man 90 feet away.
The subtle kiss from Jeff Bagwell is all you need.
That helps you turn the corner. That's it, right?
That and a hanging fastball out over the plate that you can get extended on, like Luis Valbuena just did in that right center field gap. Gary Pettis pushing Tucker home, scores easy. Getting something going again.
If this relay to the plate is handled by Perez in position, that was going to be close. Infield draws in. Jason Castro at the plate has one hit to this point on the season. That a bunt hit on the third base side. And the Astros would love to add this fifth run. Hit in the air, right center field, plenty deep, back at the track, at the wall. It is off the wall. Scoring easily, Valbuena into third base, Jason Castro. His first extra base hit of the season. And the Astros lead it 5-0. It is a triple for Jason.
That is a good sign for Astros fans. Early struggles here for Jason Castro. Does a good job of getting on top of this pitch and driving it. Watch the bat angle. Comes at it pretty good, but a nice short stroke getting to that baseball quickly and extending through it. A little bit of a backflip. I thought Jason had it too.
Pitching coach Dave Island out to the hill as we watch Castro with his first swinging knock on the season. And that's good to be able to see at this point.
That was very well said, Ash.
Thank you. You looked at me and I had to reevaluate for a moment.
No, because the first hit was a bunt hit out there in Milwaukee.
Back to the top of the order with Altuve. That infield will stay drawn in. It's game 1 of 4 between the Astros and these Kansas City Royals. And the Astros in front of their home crowd, the opener, having a good time. Altuve had a base hit back in the first inning, stole a base, and has struck out. So 1 for 2 on the night.
Those outfield rankings brought to you by Lexus. Some question marks on Alex Gordon, who is a Gold Glover out there, but we're talking about arm, the athleticism. Lorenzo Cain does a good job of getting the ball, but I'd run on his arm. And for me, you got to test the right fielder. I know Raymond Fuentes is a rookie out there. Probably has a good arm and why he is in right field, but you've got to test the kid. But at the same time, you got to take into account Jason Castro, your runner.
Altuve here in the early goings of 2013 or 16 rather has hit a lot of balls toward right field, and he's hit them well. Looked like he was shooting toward right field on that swing.
Really did.
Young from the windup, pitch hit in the air, right center field and dropping. That's a base hit. That'll plate Castro. And the Astros lead at 6-0. Jose Altuve picks up the RBI, just his second on the season. And now Colin McHugh and company in a pretty good spot early on here against KC.
There's something in the juice here at Minute Maid Park.
Well, I think
guys like playing here.
It's the Jeff Bagwell approach to the game.
No doubt. Maybe put him back in there in that hitting coach spot when I was there. But good to see the Astros swing the bats. And you talked about how Altuve's been going up the middle the other way well. And he did a great job of pulling those hands in, fighting that off towards center field, knowing there was a lot of open pasture with that infield drawn in.
Never hurts when you're 4 for 6 with runners in scoring position. That's where the Astros are right now. And George Springer at the plate, a guy trying to get hot at the big grand slam in New York. Springer has grounded out to third twice tonight. George hitting just 154. Altuve does not go as Springer swings through it. Altuve has led the American League in stolen bases each of the last 2 seasons. 56 bags in 2014, last year 38 of them. And already has 5 this year. Chen-Ming Wong, veteran right-hander, now loosening in the pen for the Kansas City Royals. Former New York Yankee, a guy who was among the league's best starters some years back.
Really was.
Made quite a rebound so far this year.
Well, according to reports.
Yes, according to reports. Now, I did talk to some of the broadcasters with the Royals, and they said it's legit. He's throwing about 93 right now. We had heard some 95 stuff.
96, yeah, but he always had that bowling ball type sinker where it came in there heavy as could be.
Young has his mind on Jose Altuve.
There he is.
Still 1 out. Altuve bluffs down at first base as Springer takes the strike. Looks like George might have been glancing toward Altuve after taking that strike.
I wonder if he sensed him taking off was going to give him a chance to get down there. Would have been a good pitch to run on.
Well, Altuve has not been shy at all about the running game so far this season and very successful with it. Something about the early goings for Altuve. He loves to run.
I think this is a good matchup. Salvador Perez probably has some of the most respect around the league as far as a good defensive catcher, throws well, but you've got a 6'10 Chris Young out there. It takes him a while to unfold and get home.
Altuve on the move, but it's put on the ground as shortstop. Jose stops at second. in his own style as Springer is thrown out. So it'll be 2 outs with the speed of Altuve at second base for 3-hitter Carlos Correa, who is 2 for 2 on the night, and we'll see how the Royals play this one.
Having some issues with the brake pads.
You know, I hadn't even noticed the sounds coming off of these stops here this evening until watching replays.
And I'm still, are we only hearing those, or is everybody at home hearing those? Because those are great sound effects.
I think it's going out to the masses, and perfectly so. So Springer now 0 for 3 with 3 groundouts tonight. Correa has doubled, driving in a run in the first inning. That a shot to right field. He has also singled. There goes Altuve to third. No throw. He's picked up number 2 on the night, number 6 on the season. And now Carlos Correa, a golden shot to drive in another.
Well, I trust Altuve, because in this situation you're already in scoring position and you've got the reigning Rookie of the Year, potential MVP at the plate, already 2 for 2. You better be 1,000% you're going to be safe at third base.
It fouled on the right field side and fairly deep. Well, you started that with saying I trust Altuve, and I think that's one of the real keys. This club led the league in stolen bases a year ago. They hit the long ball, so they do what most managers want to do. They hit with power, and they're good on the base paths. So you kind of let that thing go, and you hope that it pays off in the end, I would assume.
Yes.
Half swing going through is Correa. 1-2 the count. I think as a manager, if you try to throttle that, you might pull back some of that aggressiveness that pays off in the end.
It's just a tough spot for me. I know they've got a big lead, and you could take some more risk with that 6-run lead here in the 4th.
Hit in the air right center and shallow. Coming on the right fielder Fuentes to make the play, and that'll do it. They finally get Correa. But the Astros pick 3 runs up in this 4th inning. And after 4 innings of play, it's 6-0 Houston.
After 3 runs in that bottom of the 4th inning, it is 6-0 Astros over the Kansas City Royals. And we are going to look at the road ahead, brought to you by DeMontronRV.com. 3 more games against the reigning world champions Kansas City Royals. Then Brad Ausmus's Detroit Tigers come in for the weekend, a big day off here in April before a short, brief road trip down there up there to Dallas, I apologize, before heading back on the road. Pretty interesting schedule to finish off April here for you, Ash.
This homestand, to me, is a really tough one to start the year. After going out and playing the Yankees, who, by the way, look pretty good, and that bullpen is dynamic.
Oh, man,
Brewers are a young club, but they look pretty good for the moment.
And the road woes, it looks like, continues because you're going to battle in New York. I agree with you because they are a good ball club. But that Milwaukee series for me, I know it's early, but should have been a series win at least.
Agreed. I think everybody feels the same way.
Yeah. And it's going to be interesting to watch throughout the course of the season how other teams react to the Astros, because I think last year it was a little bit of shock treatment early on. They played extremely well, but now everybody knows who they are, and they're going to attack them much differently.
Omar Infante leads off the 5th inning for KC. Grounds out to Correa. 1 up, 1 down in the inning. And for Colin McHugh, he continues to pitch well. That'll bring up the 9-hitter, right fielder Raymond Fuentes. Fuentes had a base hit in the 3rd inning. Hitting 182 as he stands in. Has not homered, has not scored a run. Off speed and that good curveball taken for a strike.
For me, it's the strike throwing for Colin McHugh. Really attacking that zone. Seems comfortable with all 3 of his pitches: the fastball, the cutter, the curveball.
If you're just checking in, the Astros have been having some fun this evening with the bats. They already have 3 hitters with 2 hits apiece. That's Altuve, Correa, and Rasmus. Rasmus has launched the game's only dinger. 2-run shot back in the 1st inning. Colby has now joined the leadership on the club with 3 home runs. Valbuena and Castro each with hits. Castro an RBI triple as he tries to get things back on track, and that's a pretty good way to get it going. And not a bad way to get your season started in a ballpark that saw you win 53 times a year ago.
That's incredible to me. 53 home wins.
Fuentes draws the walk. That's the first issued by Colin McHugh. Comes with 1 out and brings up the leadoff man, Alcides Escobar. On the other side of the slate, just 4 hits for the Royals. 3 singles and a double. Alex Gordon has a couple of hits and has picked up the double. Double play depth at short and second. Escobar takes the strike. Have you been on that club that had the great year at home or on the road, and when the next year starts, you immediately kind of take on that mindset that we're good here, this is the way it's going to work?
Absolutely. Not quite to the extent the Astros have it, but I know that they love coming back here and playing at Minute Maid, which is crazy to me. I almost didn't. I didn't say it in the pregame because I almost couldn't believe it. But it's hard to understand in this ballpark how the pitchers react positively to it.
Yeah, that's an intriguing comment because left field is virtually Fenway Park, right?
Yeah.
Ground ball, chop foul. Fenway Park with a wall that's a little shorter than the Green Monster. So you have to learn to pitch with that in left field. It's huge to center.
But I wonder if the Astro pitchers just, if it narrows down their focus a little bit more, allows them to. I'm not sure. You know, it'd be one of the more interesting things to find out why these guys are so good at home with this pitching staff, because it almost seems they almost pitched to contact a little bit more, trying to use the defense behind them.
Dunked into left center field for a base hit. Gomez will get it back in. A 1-out single has runners at first and second. Brings up Mike Moustakas, the 3rd baseman. Yeah, now I wonder if there's a philosophy that is not talked about how to pitch at this ballpark.
I agree. And we know that Brent Strom's done a great job of working with these guys in and of itself, but I wonder if he's got some algorithm or some psychological lookout that helps these guys pitch here, because it's incredible.
I anticipated all the words that you might spew this evening, and I did not come up with algorithm.
I had all offseason to prepare that one. I would check that off the list.
Moustakas is 0 for 2 on his night. Shift on. With the shift on, the Astros want to make sure that they have the shortstop, in this case with the left-hand hitter, in a position where the double play is still a possibility.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to be in at short. You've got a lot of things going on. You're holding the runner on. You've got the feed from the third baseman. You've got the feed from both the first baseman and second baseman, and potentially pitcher or a ball out in front from the catcher. But a ground ball right here would be huge for Colin McHugh.
It appeared to be the fastball down to 86 miles an hour. Colin was up to 91 back in the first, so there's been a tail off there.
How do you explain the drop in velocity within the ball game like that?
Not sure I have a quick answer. White will go to second for one. Fire back to Colin McHugh covering, and the 3-6-1 double play will get the Astros out of the inning. Tyler White gets it done defensively. The player of the week is doing some great things for the Astros. It's 6-0. Astros on top of Kansas City.
Found themselves right where they wanted to be last season, sneaking into the playoffs with that wild card spot, and Colby Rasmus absolutely took off. Had a big series in that wild card game against the New York Yankees and continued it into that 5-game set against the Kansas City Royals in the postseason. You see the numbers on the bottom. 429 is a big number, but check out the RBIs and the home runs. Every time the Astros needed a big push, that young man right there led to it, and tonight also gave a big push early in that first inning with our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. A high heater from Chris Young. Talked about elevated fastballs in this ballpark end up doing some damage. And that man right there launched it into the second deck. 3-run lead early for Colin McHugh.
Well, Colby Rasmus leads it off here in the 5th inning as he hits it on the ground foul. Yeah, for Colby last year, 6 for 14 in that postseason play. And the 3 home runs Jeff Blum talks about. Driving in 5. That's getting it done in the big moment. It's tied up as he fouls one on the left side. Chris Young still on the hill, trailing 6-0.
Well, I was just going to say early on, and it looks like he's proving to be relatively good protection in this lineup for Carlos Correa.
Yeah, that's a great point, as Carlos Correa had hits in his first 2 at-bats. As he came to the plate with a man in scoring position in the 4th inning, the Royals chose to face him. So Rasmus down on strikes. That's 4 now for Young. With 1 out, it brings up 5-hitter Tyler White. We've talked about it, the American League Player of the Week. And what a week he has had. And that was a pretty sweet little double play. 3-6-1 he got started.
We knew there were going to be some issues on defense, but that was a heck of a play in a big situation to get Colin McHugh out of that inning.
How much did you get to see of A.J. Reed in spring training?
Not enough to really form a real good opinion about him. I know he can hit, but I wanted to see more on defense, because talking to Jeff Bagwell in the preseason when I was down in Florida, he had some really good things to say about A.J. Reed and his footwork around first base. And when you hear a guy like Jeff Bagwell say good footwork, that means A.J. Reed's got a chance.
I got the same story from Jeff and others. And, you know, you look around as this one is shot into left field. That's a base hit for Tyler White as he continues his assault on American League pitching. Make that Major League pitching as the Astros have already gone interleague facing the Milwaukee Brewers. So White is 1 for 3. He's aboard for Carlos Gomez. But I bring up A.J. Reed because, you know, you could foresee a scenario where you've got Reed and White in this lineup together. A couple of guys that are serious thumpers. Well, yeah.
You know, positioning DH, how do you massage those guys in? But you're right. The way those two guys have the potential of swinging the bat are two guys you definitely want in your lineup.
Jin-Ming Wong continues to throw in the bullpen for Kansas City. Carlos Gomez 0 for 2 on his night. Carlos hitting .217. Yeah, it does. It becomes intriguing, doesn't it? But if you can get a couple of serious thumpers to go with the guys you already have, you're going to try to find a way, aren't you?
Absolutely.
By the way, if you're wondering on Tyler White, after that base hit, he's hitting right at .500. The Astros have hit the 1 home run on the night. That gives them 13 as a club. They already come in #1 in the league in long balls. Ball driven to left field, deep, back at the track, but not enough as Gordon gets back to make the play. So Gomez didn't get all of this one. That's out #2 in the inning.
Judging by the bat flip, I thought it was going to hit the train. That was impressive. Got it right off the end of the bat. That was actually a good angle on that Supermo. Just off the end of the bat. Maybe the bat flip was more in disgust that he didn't crush that pitch.
Yeah, that's the anger flip. You're going to have to take a course on deciphering flips.
We need a translator on bat flips now.
Preston Tucker at the plate is 1 for 2. Make that 0 for 1. He drew a walk and scored a run in the 4th inning. They will play with the shift on, and yet what we've seen from Preston Tucker is some balls just scalded all over the ballpark. Left field is not out of the equation. Doesn't necessarily put it on the ground on the left side, though. And this is another one of those young thumpers on the ball club.
Basically hitting himself into that lineup.
Absolutely. Absolutely. A couple of home runs on the season for Bam Bam. Gets out in front and fouls it down the right side.
I like it. Did you give him Bam Bam?
Let's check the replay.
I like it.
Yeah?
I'm going to go with it. You better trademark that thing. Oh, come on.
I think I might be a little tardy on that one.
No way.
Bam Bam's been around, guys.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, just crushed me,
Twitter.
Julia.
Gosh, she just, watch out. She just got her bus driver's license. Just ran right over Ash's pride. Jeez.
I thought about letting Ash have it, but I just knew Twitter was going to explode.
Oh, man.
Sorry, Ash.
Instead, I'll explode up here as the Astros lead 6-0.
Let me get your ego up off the ground.
I think that goes back to his minor league days, actually.
Off speed, and now a 3-2 count with 2 outs. That, of course, means that Tyler White will be in motion. First baseman Eric Hosmer has already informed his pitcher he'll be behind the runner. This likely to be maybe the only scenario in which we'll see White on the move this year. There he goes, and it's fouled. Nice job by Preston Tucker waiting on the off speed. Just about to get my breath back now from Julia's comments.
It's a good job battling through that, Ash. See Tucker still getting that pitch away, trying to get on top of it, going that way.
Out in front with the body, but the hands are doing a great job staying back. Again, White on the move. This one is lashed but foul. I mean, he is just scalding some baseballs.
And it's funny when you see guys that are swinging the bat well, they're able to foul off those tough pitches to put themselves in a situation to get a mistake like this just a little too quick for Preston Tucker, and hits a rocket into the stands.
So we do it again at 3-2. Tyler White getting in the wind sprints here. Again on the move. And a foul tip at the plate. That ability to see the changing of speeds enough to be able to foul something off until you get a pitch to handle can be crucial over the year.
I agree. See the focus on those eyes, and the hands are a great point that Ash pointed out earlier. You can lose the lower half sometimes on off speed, but if your hands are back in a good position to fire, you're able to fight those pitches off.
I saw one of the kings for me in my playing days. Jose Cruz out at the ballpark tonight. Again, White moving. And again, the pitch is lashed but foul down the right side. Jose Cruz could start the lower body and take the biggest stride you ever wanted to see, and his hands would stay back. And he could dot the left field chalk.
That's
I mean,
impressive.
He could do anything.
That's something you can't teach.
No, you can't.
It's just natural ability.
10th pitch coming now to Preston Tucker as Chien-Ming Wang continues to throw. White on the move, pitch is high. So Preston Tucker draws his second walk of the night.
Kick off your weekends at Minute Maid Park Friday, April 15th, and every Friday night home game with the best fireworks show in town. For more information, visit astros.com/fireworks or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
There have been some fireworks tonight. The Astros enjoying it. Runners at first and second, and that'll do it for Chris Young. As Ned Yost has come to the mound, he points to the pen and brings in Chien-Ming Wang. We'll be right back.
It is 6-0 Astros, threatening here with a couple base runners on with 2 outs, and the Toyota Tundra, they helped us earlier work the game. We were talking about the differences between these two ball clubs. Obviously, the Astros like to drive the ball out of the ballpark. They do a good job on the base paths, leading the American League currently with stolen bases. They are hyper-aggressive out there, but they'd love to sit back and drive that ball out of the ballpark, as opposed to the Royals, who will just nitpick at you, get their walks, get a couple base hits here and there, try and create base running, a lot of situations, trying to put pressure on the defense. But which team? I didn't have a chance to ask Art Howe, the manager, earlier in this broadcast, which team would he rather manage? That's a tough call.
That is a tough call. National League manager might like all the moves he can make as Valbuena dances away on the first pitch from Chien-Ming Wang. This guy was something with the Yankees. We can get back to that. Wang was a 19-game winner back in his second season. That was 2006 with the Yankees. Went 19-6. Won 19 the following year, going 19-7, and then was injured. And that injury took place while running the bases right here at Minute Maid Park.
I remember that series. He was trying to score, and it was one of those situations where the on-deck hitter was saying down, no, stay up kind of situation. He wasn't sure if he had to slide. Kind of hesitated into home plate, hit home plate, and turned that ankle big time, and that was it.
And Wong has some really good numbers over his career. You have to point out that the career was basically derailed at that point. He went 8-2 the following year, and that was his best season since. On his career, he's 62-34 in 9 years. So he's had great success.
Man.
I would take a guess that Art Howe would rather have that team that thumps the home run.
Everybody loves a home run.
Strike 3 called on Valbuena. He can't believe it as Wong gets the strikeout. And that'll do it. 5th strikeout of an Astros hitter. It's 6-0 Houston.
There's definitely nerves. I mean, there's nerves every time you step on the mound, but especially in a game like that, and with what you've accomplished so far during the season on the line, I think that I'll definitely learn from it and take some stuff away from it personally, and kind of mentally being able to make some leaps to that next level. But I'm proud of what we did. I'm proud of what we accomplished, and you know, when you're just a few outs away and you can smell it, it makes you want it even more.
And the team learned from it. You learned. McHugh pitching Game 5 of the ALDS, taking the loss against the Royals. That's the last time he saw this team. And guys, he said what a lot of these players said when it comes to the playoffs and the postseason. A lot of these players seeing it for the very first time, experiencing that. He talked about the nerves. You heard that from a lot of them. Whether they wanted to have them or not, they did once they got out there, and especially at Kansas City. Here, the fans were great, but they were getting booed just as loud at Kauffman Stadium. So all a learning experience for these guys. Blemmer, you and Ash both know what that's like, and those losses especially can hang with you for a while, can't they?
Yeah, they can, Julia. And the thing is, learning to be able to play at your best when you're taking the heat from the opposing crowd can be a big element, I think.
Yeah, and I think that could prove beneficial this season if they are able to get back into the postseason, having gone through it and felt the frustration of it, and understanding what it's like to play in that situation could help them if they are lucky enough to get back to the dance this year.
You know, it was a little more extreme maybe for the Kansas City Royals. They've been to the World Series each of the last 2 years. They've been really good. And last year, of course, coming back to win the World Series, and it took the great effort against Houston to get there. But I imagine some of the Royals would tell you they learned something from that previous year.
Yeah, oh, no doubt. I think, well, we all know that the more experience you get, hopefully the better you get, and the better understanding of what you're trying to do is. And even those failures can prove to be positives.
6-0 Houston here in the 6th inning. Colin McHugh has one out as he got Lorenzo Cain leading off to fly to center field. Eric Hosmer 1 for 2 on the night. Six runs, 9 hits for Houston. No runs on 5 hits for KC. Hit on the ground the other way. With a semi shift on, Hosmer has a second hit on the night.
Hosmer's got one of those swings where when you say maybe bat lag, he does a good job with that lag of the barrel staying through the zone right there, because there's not too many guys that purposefully try and drive that ball that way. Ash and I both hit from both sides of the plate and understood it's not that easy to drive a ball directly in between the third baseman and the foul line. You said Cheo could do it pretty consistently, but he was a freakish hitter. I didn't have that kind of lag in my bat to be able to do that.
Cheo used to leave the impression that, and we're talking about Jose Cruz, that he could try to hit home runs and be really successful, or try to win the batting title. And he was kind of in between at times, to be honest. But amazing set of tools that he had as the fly ball slices down the left field side in the corner. Rasmus is there and makes the catch in foul territory. That's the second out as Morales flies down that left field side. That's a big out as well with Morales, and it now brings up Alex Gordon.
I've actually got that being a great play. It's not easy to go into that corner over by the Crawford boxes, and the stands coming about 3 or 4 feet away from that foul line.
Did you get a glimpse of that play? Because I didn't see a thing.
Yeah, I took a peek at the monitor just to make sure where he was going. They got a great angle from that right field corner across and did a good job of finding the wall and holding his ground to make the play.
We were talking about 2008 with the injury to Chen-Ming Wong running the bases here in Houston. That same season, on April 11th, this day in baseball history, the Astros and Marlins combined to hit 8 home runs in a 10-6 win for the Marlins right here at Minute Maid Park. The 8 home runs, tied for the most hit in a single 9-inning game here at this ballpark. That was 2008.
Ooh.
Alex Gordon takes a strike.
Those back-to-back nasty pitches right there. Up and in with the first pitch cutter, and now down and in with the fastball. Nicely done.
Of course, the Astros had a couple of home runs in that ball game. One was hit by Lance Berkman. The other hit by none other than Jeff Blum.
Whew, that was a good day.
I think he went awful with that extended left-handed stroke right down the left field corner.
Just poked it in there, snuck it around that foul ball. Another fence scraper.
I was thinking more like up on the tracks. Have we seen a guy go opposite field up on the tracks here ever?
I don't believe so.
That would be a bolt.
That would be impressive, to say the least.
1-2 the count.
You just have to guess that maybe it was Barry Bonds if anybody did it.
Ooh, yeah. Got him looking. The breaking ball for the strikeout. Colin McHugh continues to pitch well. That's 4 strikeouts as he gets through the 6th. 6-0 Houston. Houston Astros baseball on Root Sports is presented by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by Toyota. Let's go places. A lot of folks at the ballpark sell out here on opening night in Houston. And what a great matchup. 4 games with the Kansas City Royals. The Astros having it their way to this point as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. 6-0. Colby Rasmus has launched the game's only dinger. And here in the 6th inning, Jason Castro will lead it off. Jason is 1 for 2. That hit a triple, and it drove in a run in the 4th. Castro drove in number 5, and then came around to score number 6 for the Stros. Houston with a 3-run first, a 3-run 4th. Chien-Ming Wang, second pitcher of the night for Kansas City, has a 2-0 count on Castro. This is a guy you'd love to see get hot right about now. With that hit tonight, the batting average at 111. Hits it in the air right field. Coming on and making the catch right about shoe top height is the right fielder Fuentes, and out number 1.
Fuentes got fooled on that one a little bit.
I think he thought that ball might have been hit harder than it was.
I think you're exactly right.
So Castro retired. Back to the top now with Jose Altuve, who is 2 for 2, make that 2 for 3 on the night. Also has stolen a couple of bags and scored a run. Wong falls behind. With the 2 hits tonight, Jose Altuve has the batting average up to 259. Hey, you had to see that home run he hit yesterday leading off the game in Milwaukee. I mean, it was legit big time bomb.
Well, I couldn't believe I saw the StatCast on it, and I had to read it twice because StatCast has taken it to the level where everybody wants to know, I think, on how far do you think it would have gone kind of situation, and they had posted
back down to earth, right?
Yeah, where it would have landed, yes. And it said 448 feet, I want to believe, if I recall.
I believe it. And
that's incredible.
That could be shortchanged. He was way back there in that second tank in Milwaukee.
Pardon the pun.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a big time bomb from a little man.
Little man has a 1-2 count. And this little man has done some big things already in his career. Just 26 years of age. He's already won a batting title. He's led the league in hits twice and picks up another one, number 3 on the night. So Altuve aboard. And this is yesterday.
I'm just going to sit back and enjoy. Man, he threw that thing right into the barrel. How about putting the entire body for Jose Altuve into that swing? That's back in the second. That's underneath Bernie's tower out there in left field.
Saw him today, and I kind of pointed at the bicep, and he went, ooh. He made that face that says,
when
yeah,
you know you got it.
Got it. Yeah, he wasn't going to hold back and play coy, saying, you know, I missed a little bit of that one. He said, I got it all.
I love it.
So Altuve aboard. That running game could come into play again. Again, 2 stolen bases tonight for Jose. George Springer trying to find it right now. He's grounded out 3 times tonight. The Astros now with 10 hits on the board.
That'll give us a chance to look at our forward spray chart on George Springer, and this is last year's home runs. Red dot fastball, blue dot off speed, but you can see he's got that power up the middle from gap to gap. You see left center, right center with those home runs, and that's where I think George should really focus. We see him swinging hard, but I'd like to see him swinging hard up the middle of the field.
Now, of course, George had that big swing against the Yankees, the grand slam, and it looked really big at the time. Yankees had jumped on top, and Springer got his Astros teammates right back in the ballgame. It wouldn't work out that night. That's the kind of swing you look to see from George. But I'm with you. To me, batting practice is a big key to set up what happens on the night for you. Now, you can stand and hit a ton of home runs, and it may help you, but the likelihood is it might make you start moving a little early.
I agree. And if you're in the big leagues, there's a good chance you have the ability to hit home runs. And in batting practice, maybe a little bit extra ability to hit home runs because you're getting cookies every pitch. And I always go back to those guys who are potential Hall of Famers or Hall-of-Famers. When I watched a guy like Tony Gwynn take BP, he was going up the middle the other way.
Up the middle. There's your base hit for George Springer. Altuve not even a thought about stopping at second base. Runners at first and third, one out. And it brings up the big man, Carlos Correa.
And to get back to the point, all the good hitters I've seen really fight to create that swing that goes up the middle. They adjust on the pitch, but you're creating a swing in a stable place going up the middle. And this was a great job by George Springer, getting the barrel on it, not trying to get too big and driving it up the middle. More base runners for this ball club lead to great things because 1 through 9, these guys have pop.
And I'm glad to see George swing hard and try to hit the ball hard.
Yep.
Not in the endeavor to necessarily try to pull everything.
Completely agree.
Correa takes a strike on the outside edge. Altuve at third, Springer at first. Great speed on. Correa 2 for 3 on his night. Has doubled and singled, driven in a run, and scored a run. I think there's a tendency at times, maybe for me, maybe for a lot of people, to think as Correa goes, so will go the offense for the Astros. But there are so many guys that are capable of having big seasons.
And Correa is one of those guys that's going to be that consistent force throughout the season. But there's enough, like we talked about, that pop in the lineup to make up for those days where Correa may not have it.
Loops one foul down the right side. 1-2 the count. One of the things, and it is just one of the arrows in the quiver for Correa is with 2 strikes, he might even be a better hitter than he is prior.
And that's because he doesn't have that fear of getting beat. He likes to see the ball. He's not afraid to see it a long time. And like you just saw in that last swing, kind of fight it off a little bit. It was a gutsy take from some of the pitches we've seen called here in the last inning or so.
That is a gutsy take. And Carlos has taken a few pitches already this year that make you wonder.
It fooled the catcher.
Yeah.
There's crazy movement on that.
Well, that might be a little bit of that early look from Chen-Ming Wong. Boy, he had one of the game's great hard sinkers.
Man, yeah.
Fighting it off, Correa. Will Correa be told, whether during the game or after the game tonight, that he took a pitch that could have been called a strike 3?
You know what? I'm not sure, because I'm not sure if Carlos goes back and watches all the video. If he goes back and watches the video, I'm sure he'll understand that that was more than borderline.
But that's not necessarily a directive from the hitting coach type of thing.
I don't believe so. At least in my experience. I played with guys that there's usually video rooms right behind the dugout that players have access to go look at. I only went up and looked if I thought it was a borderline call that I got punched out on, so I could have an idea of my zone, the umpire's zone, and it actually was a fuel for me to go back up my next at bat and say, dude, you blew that one.
There are a lot of hitters, in my opinion, that through the years have not been honest with themselves. I think you'd have to be honest about things and say, you know what, I might have taken one too close right there. Hit on the ground, through into right field. That'll plate Altuve. Digging to third is Springer. The throw is in time to get him. So it'll be an RBI single, making it 7-0 Houston. Thrown out 9-5 on the play as George Springer second out of the inning. And Carlos Correa moves up on the fielder's choice. So Correa now with 3 hits on the night.
Great piece of hitting on that sinker, going the other way. And I'm not sure if Springer was trying to draw that throw or felt that he could challenge it. We talked about challenging the rookie Fuentes out there. This will be something that they'll put in the memory bank. But there was no intention of getting that runner trying to score from third base on that base hit. His intention was to get that runner, George Springer, going all the way to third base, and proved out to be an out.
Colby Rasmus 2 for 3 with a home run and a bunt single. Yes, took advantage of the shift and dropped one on the third base side.
And take account the score.
Yeah.
George knows it's going to be 7-0 as soon as that runner crosses home plate. Why not challenge that guy for the second out, as opposed if it was the first or third out, he may not have gone.
How about that's not all George Springer either. That's Gary Pettis being aggressive down at third base.
Shoot, it could be Rich Dower over there saying, challenge this kid. If they get a ball on the ground in the outfield, go for it.
As we rate arms around the league, I'd say in looking at the youngster in right field, I didn't see pure Petro coming from right, but I saw an accurate throwing arm.
And accuracy makes up for that lack of arm strength.
7-0 Houston here in the 6th inning, and Rasmus trying to add to it. It's tied up, fouls it. Well, it's kind of like we have a red light on Colby Rasmus. He doesn't have the great heat coming from the outfield, but he'll hit his cutoff man and he'll get some assists.
And that's what third base coaches are looking at. That's scouting reports tell you how aggressive is this guy to the ball. Is he good enough to glove it cleanly and come up throwing? Because that's a good way to make up for that, or that less velocity that we've seen everybody tracking these days.
Check swing, foul back. I managed a couple of years in the minor leagues, and when you do, you coach third base. Biggest thing that shut me down was an outfielder that really charged hard.
Well, and I remember being taught to go first to third. When you were making that run and you saw the ball in the outfield, you were watching to see which guy rushed after that ball. If he didn't have the ball in his glove by the time I got to second base, I was going.
Pitch gets on by. It's called strike 3. And so Rasmus is thrown out down at first base. And that'll do it. The Astros add one more run in the 6th inning and lead it 7-0. As we come back for the 7th, Bill Brown will be back in place with Jeff Blum.
Seven nothing Astros in the lead. We have a winner in our Chevy Stro poll. Thanks to all who got on Twitter and voted. The question was, who will be the Astros' biggest challenge to a World Series? You voted Royals. Kansas City, the defending world champs, at 40%. Rangers not too far behind, though, at 36%. We'll see the Rangers a lot this year. Team that expected to be pretty good. Wonder who the other is. Now let's go up to Bill Brown and Jeff Blum.
Thank you, Julia. Having fun on this opening night.
It's my favorite day of the year.
Isn't it, though? 7-0. Colin McHugh out for the 7th inning. The bullpen is busy. Lefty Tony Sipp at work. Salvador Perez takes, and it is strike one. Perez is 0 for 2. He fouled out to first, and he hit a fly ball to center. Brandon Finnegan lost a no-hitter with 2 outs in the 7th inning.
Ex-Royal.
Yeah. Cubs catcher David Ross broke it up with a single. Here's Valbuena throwing accurately for out number 1.
Time now for our pitch by pitch. Colin McHugh did a great job. This is a big at bat. Cutter at the top of the zone, then paints down and in nicely. Tried to get Alex Gordon to chase right here and just goes back inside, decides to paint that lower inside corner, and there's really no defense on that pitch right there for Alex Gordon. Just extremely well located, pounding that inside part of the zone.
Been quite a turnaround for him from his first start of the year. Omar Infante takes ball 1. Infante is 0 for 2 tonight. The Astros have out hit the Royals 12-6. No errors in the game. Each club has left 6. Glad to have you with us tonight. Out over shortstop into left center field. That will loop in for a hit. Picked up by Gomez, and Infante is aboard. Big crowd here for tonight. We're getting the announcement on exactly how many. It was 43,000 plus, Plummer.
That is an impressive sight.
43,332. Standing room only. Game 1 of the home season. Raymond Fuentes has a single and a walk in this game. Altuve moving to his right, and the ball's hit back behind him. A single through the right side. And the Royals have something working. Runners at first and second and 1 out. Altuve had just moved about 5 steps to his right, and the ball was hit back to his left.
Here's a good peek at what Browning was talking about. You see him, and you can see the catcher Castro set up on that outside corner. It makes you wonder if Colin McHugh missed the location on that, because infielders will see pitch location and anticipate before that pitch comes, and sometimes you get burned.
2 men on now, and it's Escobar batting. He's 1 for 3, a single back in the 5th inning. 8 hits for the Royals now. Correa to his right, on to Altuve, safe, and the bases are loaded. Slowly hit ball, and Fuentes beats the play at second base.
The Royals run the bases well, and Fuentes can run a little bit. This is not hit well at all. I'm not sure if there were really any other choice for Carlos Correa right there. Tries to get rid of it quickly, but with Alcides Escobar running down to first base, it would have been incredibly close play at first base also.
And maybe ruled a fielder's choice play, and it is. No hit. Mike Moustakas is the batter. He's 0 for 3. Bounced into a double play in the 5th inning. Strike 1. We've heard some fans chanting Moose when he's come to the plate, so evidently the Kansas City folks have showed up in pretty good numbers tonight in here in Houston.
Why wouldn't you come down here and watch a ball game at Minute Maid?
Excellent point. And they haven't had too many games at home. They had so many off days last week. Crazy schedule, wasn't it?
And for the Astros, yes, starting all the way back before that series, they went to Mexico. The whole situation was interesting. They choose to do it at the end of spring training. Guys are trying to ramp it up, and then you split the team up. They're in Florida, Mexico. They come back. They go to Houston for 2 games, split up, go up to New York. You guys were up in New York for a good 3 weeks, weren't you?
Seemed like it. In the air, and here's Altuve out of the shift, but Correa's there. Infield fly rule is called. 2 outs. And that could be a big one. Kane is coming up next. Colin McHugh, Plummer, is into bonus time right now. Anything he can give the Astros beyond this point would be considered a bonus, right?
Yeah, and I think he's in a good situation. Even though the bases are loaded right here, 7-0 lead. And you know that A.J. Hinch, and we all know that Colin McHugh knows this too, the more innings he's out there, the better chance he has of depressing that ERA a little bit, considering what happened in that first outing.
Kane is 0 for 3. He looks like the Colin McHugh we've been watching the last 2 years.
I agree, and that's a good sign too, to be able to bounce back after a rough start.
Even though it's only one game, when you come out of the chute with an ERA of 135, it's not an easy game to swallow.
It's almost shaved 130 runs off that ERA.
It can only go one way from there, right?
Truly.
Swing, and this one gets away from Castro, but no advance. 0-2.
And you've really seen both breaking balls from Colin McHugh. He has that big one that jumps out of his hand a little bit, breaks back into the zone. He likes to throw those early in the count for strikes. And then right there you saw he has that power one lower in the zone. Tough to pick up for right-handed hitters.
The Thunder Sticks are making noise. 100 pitches in. This could be the final batter tonight for Colin McHugh. And they would love to send him off with a rousing ovation. 1-2. Colin is 19-9 in his career at Minute Maid Park with a 3.59 ERA. Right field, and Springer has it measured. 7 shutout frames tonight for Colin McHugh, and the Astros continue to lead 7-0.
Nothing. Astros leading the Kansas City Royals. Join the Astros on Saturday, April 23rd, as they take on the Red Sox at Minute Maid Park. 10,000 fans will receive a Carlos Correa replica white jersey presented by Waste Management. For more info, visit Astros.com or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. It's time to name that Astro. This is brought to you by your local Honda dealer. We've got some clues for you. He was once traded for a prospect who became an actor best known for Gilmore Girls. And he hit for the cycle in both leagues. Tweet us who you think this Astro is, and we will tell you who it is later in the broadcast. Guys, up to you.
Thanks, Julia. 7-0 Astros. Fans really enjoying this opening night at Minute Maid Park. 43,332 the paid attendance. Some Altuve fans. A lot of Colin McHugh fans enjoying his work tonight as the Astros come up now in the home 7th against Chen-Man Wong. And we've had a change in the outfield for Kansas City. Paulo Orlando going out to play center field for Lorenzo Cain. As the Astros bat here in the 7th, it's White, Gomez, and Tucker due up. The starter Chris Young went 4 2/3, allowing 9 hits and 6 runs, walking 2 and fanning 4. The Astros getting a 2-run first inning homer from Colby Rasmus after an RBI single from Correa. Then they put 3 more runs on the board in the 4th inning. Castro with an RBI triple. Altuve drove in a run with a single, and Valbuena had doubled in a run. Drew Butera is in the game as well, and he's doing the catching with Orlando in center field, as a couple of changes have been made here by Ned Yost in this 7-0 game. There's Butera taking over for Salvador Perez. White lines one into the left field corner, and the great White is off and running again. Into second base. Here's the throw. It's offline. He dives in with a double. 2 for 4 tonight.
They have to start calling him White Lightning with all the rockets he's firing all over the field.
Turn on that pitch.
Just another youngster with a lot of enthusiasm and talent.
That's his 3rd double of the year. He has 3 home runs. He has 12 hits in the first 7 games. Now it's Gomez with strike 1 on the off-speed offering from Chen-Win Wong. 7-0 Houston, 13 hits. Tyler White is 12 for 22. After you've come home, Blummer, from a road trip like he had, with 10 hits in 6 games, hitting .556, 3 homers, 9 runs batted in. Of course you want to have this kind of game in the opener, but after a week like that, it's tough to continue that string, isn't it?
It's exhausting. It is tough, but he's in such a good situation, in such a good spot. He's comfortable. These guys have taken him in. They don't treat him like a rookie. They treat him like a guy that's going to be in this lineup in order to produce.
Out into right center field. Here's Paulo Orlando, and the right fielder gets there. Fuentes for the catch. 1 out.
Colin McHugh had a great evening. 7 shutout. Was locating all 3 pitches and actually had a couple different breaking balls to come after these Royals with. Seen the cutter up in the zone. We've seen the fastball down the zone. Getting a big ground ball right here. Fielding his position on a rare 3-6-1 double play. That was absolutely filthy right there, but a big pop out with the bases loaded. Gets him out of there with that shutout outing to back up what was a really rough outing before this.
Preston Tucker is 0 for 1 with a pair of walks. There's strike 1 to Preston. Looking at the changes made by Ned Yost and thinking of the Royals' schedule. Paulo Orlando's had 8 at-bats so far in the first week of the season. Backup catcher Butera has not had any playing time at all. They've had this downtime, and they had a game, a day off, a game and 2 days off. So you can understand Ned Yost wanting to get 2 of these players into a 7-0 ball game to give them just a few repetitions, a few innings. Plummer.
Yeah, and that's one thing. I played for Bruce Bochy for a couple years out there in San Diego, and that's one thing I appreciated about Bruce Bochy is that he understood situations for those guys that were on the bench, and he knew that in some of these blowouts, even though it is in April, you can give them a couple ABs late in the ball game like this just to get their timing back a little bit. And if not, just to let them know you're still thinking about them and understand they're on the roster.
Yeah. Strikeout number 3 for Wong as Tucker went down. Now Valbuena comes up. Well, because you've been through a spring, and any player has, of getting a lot of playing time. And now you're into a regular season with days off, more than you've had in the spring. If you're a bench player who's been playing a lot in spring training, now the at-bats are really dwindling, and so this is a way to try to remedy that problem, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely true. That is, I mean, you hit the nail on the head by saying in spring training you get plenty of at-bats to get your timing down and get those reps to make you feel comfortable, and then you completely shut it down, understand your role. But when the opportunity arises, it probably does not rise too often for these Kansas City Royals, where they get blown out a little bit. Ned Yost realizing that, gets those guys in there, get the blood pumping, see some pitches.
Min Wong was injured running the bases right here at Minute Maid Park as a Yankee. 2 balls and a strike. He has certainly worked hard to get back into the big leagues. The Royals have been the best road team in the major leagues the last 3 years. They have a winning record of 133 and 110. High. Out to the warning track. Just enough room for the catch for Fuentes. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. We move to the 8th, 7-0 Astros. Astros lead it here at home in their home opener. This pitching performance is powered by Kubota, showing you the Astros bullpen doing well the last couple of games. 1 run allowed in 6 1/3 innings. Plummer.
That's good to see. A lot of attention's been put on building that bullpen to be able to finish off games for the Houston Astros. Was beneficial last year. Added Ken Giles to that mix. Locked up a guy in Tony Sipp. We know those guys can get it done. You just want to make sure that they can be consistent with it.
Josh Fields, part of that pitching performance the last couple of games. Now we go to the 8th inning. We look at Tony Sipp in 2 games, a 4.5 ERA in 2 innings.
That's that bottom number you like to see. 6 games against this Kansas City team, including the postseason. 0-0-0.
Lefty on lefty with Hosmer, who's 2 for 3. And Hosmer looks at ball 1. Colin McHugh with a wonderful night. Went 7 innings, gave up 8 hits, no runs. He didn't walk. Yes, he did. He had 1 walk and he had 4 strikeouts. Smoked into right field. Hosmer's 3 for 4. Danny Duffy's warming up, a lefty for the Royals. That's 9 hits for Kansas City. 7 of them have been singles. Switch hitting Kendrys Morales is 0 for 3. Lefty hitting Alex Gordon on deck. Sipp delivers ball 1. There's a big difference, and sometimes we make too much out of this. If you look at average velocities of these two bullpens, the Royals among the hardest throwing pens in the major leagues. And the Astros were very effective despite not throwing that hard last year. In for a strike. It's about getting outs.
And I think the fact that the defense is so good that you can pitch to contact and not worry about the velocity. Just get a good location, set guys up.
Two and one. We take a look at last year's numbers. And Greg Holland is hurt right now, but Kansas City averaged 95.8 out of the bullpen from the 7th inning on. Yankees, Cincinnati, Toronto were up there, and the Astros were down near the bottom in average miles per hour. Now 3 balls and a strike. However, the Astros got it done. They're more of a ground ball, pitch to contact staff, and they got their outs in a different way other than strikeouts. They did have some good strikeout pitchers on the staff, not to say they didn't, but in Ken Giles, they'll pick up some average miles per hour from that figure last year. Their bullpen ERA was 4th best in the American League. 3-2. It's about winning, and the other thing is Colin McHugh going 7 tonight. That helps the bullpen.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime you can push that bullpen back, which is probably the exact opposite of what the Kansas City Royals are trying to do with their rotation. They want to get 5 and get those guys out of there. They're 5 and dive and get to that bullpen because they are deep and they are strong.
The fans did a great job of wearing their orange tonight, and they are encouraged to do so for the next 3 nights in this orange out series. Chris Medlin makes his first start of the year for Kansas City tomorrow night against Mike Fiers.
I'm looking forward to seeing Brad Ausmus again at the end of this homestand.
That's out to left center field and a high flyer going way out. And the Royals are on the board with a 2-run shot by Morales, his 2nd of the year. It's now 7-2 Houston.
Kind of what Kendricks was doing all last year. Granted, it was in a little bit better situations, but you see that 7th pitch is pretty much center cut. And Kendricks does what he should do with it. But fortunately for Tony Sipp, I know it doesn't look good on the statistics at the end of the day, but a 7-run lead kind of takes the pain out of that just a little bit.
Alex Gordon looks at strike 1. He's 2 for 3. The Royals score for the first time tonight here in the 8th inning. It's 1-1. Two balls and a strike for Tony Sipp. Astros are 26-22 overall against Kansas City. Right-hander Josh Fields is now working for Houston. Two balls, 2 strikes with Hosmer a left-handed bat and Gordon now batting from this side of the plate. A.J. Hinch brought in the lefty Sipp, and then he turned around the switch hitter Morales. So this gets him through that left-handed hitting portion of the order for Kansas City. And he's prepared to swing back the other way with Fields. 3-2 for Sipp. Struck him out. 1 out.
MLB.com at bat lets you stay up to the moment on Astros baseball with game day, live game highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet.
Drew Butera is the batter. It's his first plate appearance of the season, first playing time for the backup catcher of Salvador Perez. Butera looks at ball one. There's not a lot of wear and tear on the Kansas City backup catcher.
Now when you've got a beast like Perez going every day, he does not want to come out of these games.
1-1. So if you give him a few innings off, that's helpful.
Exactly.
And for a strike, 1-2. Well, Yadier Molina has been an Iron Man for the Cardinals for many years.
Changeup or split from Tony. Yeah, but Salvador Perez, for me, seems built for the long haul. He is a monster behind home plate.
He sure is. Slow roller. Difficult play. Valbuena barehanding. Does it well. He came flying across the infield for out number 2.
That is a heck of a play. Not hit very hard. Coming across the diamond, usually those plays are a little bit easier when you're coming straight in, but going across the diamond, we've become quite accustomed to watching Valbuena play some great third base. I think the biggest key for me as a third baseman, you always try to defeat that ball before it got to the lip between the grass and the dirt.
His body was under complete control. He had it at a really good angle.
I was just going to say, did you see how he rounded around and kind of created that angle going towards first base so he get a good grip on it?
Yeah, and I was going to ask you, Infante swinging in strike one, how you do that as a third baseman.
It's all in the first step, and Valbuena is one of those guys that has incredible footwork for a guy that we really hadn't known about until he got here. But he did a good job with that first step with that left foot, creating that angle to allow him to come back in.
Isn't that really a key to a lot of infield play, that first step the infielder takes?
Absolutely. It's preparation. It's taking a lot of ground balls in batting practice, but it's also reacting to batting practice. When you're in batting practice, you don't necessarily have to field the ball at third base, but you anticipate the ball being in the hitting zone and then reacting wherever that ball goes, and that's how you kind of refresh and practice that first step.
Springer in right without number 3. The 2-run homer by Morales gets the Royals on the board. It's 7-2 Houston in the 8th. Houston Astros baseball on Root Sports is presented by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by Lexus, the new 2016 Lexus ES and ES Hybrid. It's next level luxury. 7-2, the Astros lead it. They're coming up in the bottom of the 8th inning here at Minute Maid Park. And we see the game summary brought to you by DeMontron Auto Group, showing you Chris Young giving up 6 runs in 4 2/3 innings for Kansas City. 1, 2, 3 hitters for the Royals, 1 for 12. The Astros getting 7 shutout innings from their starter, Colin McHugh, and Jose Altuve has 3 of their hits. And they have 13 hits.
That's what the Astros have done good against the Kansas City Royals, is lighting up that starting pitching. You really don't want to get anywhere near that bullpen.
They have a lethal pen. Jason Castro tripled in a run in the 4th. He's 1 for 3. Nationals beat the Braves 6-4 in Washington. A win for Max Scherzer, a loss for Bud Norris. And there's strike 1. Daniel Murphy hit his 2nd homer of the year, and Wilson Ramos was 4 for 4. That Washington team could be a World Series club.
A year too late, according to most.
1-1 for Danny Duffy in the game after 2 games previous to this one with an ERA of 0. And against the Astros, including postseason, 0-1 with a 4.5 ERA and 2 home runs allowed. He gets it by Castro for a 1-2 count. Chen-Min Wong went 2 1/3 innings, giving up 4 hits, 1 run, no walks, 3 strikeouts.
Duffy's got a great fastball, breaking ball combination. Had some issues last year leaving that fastball up out over the plate.
Castro in the air to left field. Gordon. 1 out.
Some highlights of that game summary you were talking about. Browning in front of this sold out standing room only crowd early in that first inning. Carlos Correa with his first hit. Then backing him up and doing a good job of it was Colby Rasmus with a high heater, driving it deep into that second deck. Bats came alive early. Valbuena getting in on the action. Plenty of base runners to go around. 13 hits on the evening for the Houston Astros, going along with those 7 runs. Jason Castro lighting it up with his own triple, making up for Evan Gattis not being on the roster.
Oh, you're dogging Evan Gattis tonight.
He's saving up. He's getting those wheels right, so when he gets back, those are easy triples.
Are you trying to motivate him?
Yeah. How about, I was shocked to see that picture of him shaved.
Yeah.
Clean shaven Evan Gattis.
It's a new image for Evan. Altuve's 3 for 4, and he has scored twice tonight. Oh, we could be seeing him very soon, Mr. Blum.
That would be a great thing. Another big stick in this Astros lineup.
Evan's goal probably was not to be Player of the Week in the Texas League.
I'm going to put that on his resume.
Angels nothing, Oakland A's nothing, bottom of the 3rd. That Oakland club's been pretty good for the first week of the season. 2 balls and a strike. Rangers are in Seattle. They're tied 1-1 in the top of the 3rd. Nomar Mazara is now the youngest position player in the American League, not Carlos Correa anymore. Boy, the young talent just continues to be astonishing.
How about just the young shortstop talent alone is pretty incredible.
Yeah, we could go on about that for an inning or 2.
My goodness.
That little guy has his own entertainment.
There's a future Rookie of the Year.
Altuve draws a walk, his 3rd of the year.
That's a rarity.
Does that go back to his spring training approach?
Jose Altuve's on base percentage is primarily made up of hits.
Well, he's been on 4 times tonight. He had 5 tries, so that on base average is climbing quickly. George Springer is 1 for 4. That's strike 1. special night, opening night. Great majority of the time in the past, the Astros have opened at home. It's a little bit different feel when they've been playing for a week when they come home.
I had a season where we had 3 opening days.
Yeah?
Yeah, we opened on the road in one place, traveled to the next city, opened on the road there, and eventually had our home opener. That is a much cleaner scorecard than mine.
Yeah.
And I was nervous for all of them.
Were you really?
Yeah, it was exciting. I think opening days are great. I think it's nice, the flyovers, the national anthems, the having your name called, running out there to the line. And it increased my chances that year of being in the starting lineup to say on opening day.
You had 3 tries, yeah. Wonder if managers think about that. Near the right field line. Fuentes diving. That's in for extra bases. Going to the wall. Springer's on the loose. Springer heading for third. Altuve scores. And it is 8-2. Springer with a triple, his first of the year. And that's his 5th run batted in.
Driving the ball the other way, too, for George Springer. Doing a good job of staying inside, driving it the other way. Almost looked like he was fighting it off. Duffy does throw extremely hard. But great location on that sinking line drive. And once it gets past Fuentes, like you said, Springer is loose. I love the body English right there, trying to keep that ball from Fuentes' glove. But the electricity of this lineup at it again, especially top of the order.
That puts him 1 triple ahead of Evan Gattis. And it's Carlos Correa with the infield in. He's 3 for 4 tonight. Jason Castro got the Astros' first triple of the year back in the 4th. They did not have one in their first 6 games. Now they get 2, just 4 innings apart. Correa checks his swing. Jake Marisnick is on deck. Colby Rasmus due up next. With the lefty on the mound and Duffy. Skipper A.J. Hinch is ready to go with Marisnick. Bouncer shortstop. Fielded by Escobar. 2 outs. And now Marisnick will be announced as the hitter for Rasmus, who was 2 for 4 tonight. A 2-run homer in the first, a bunt single in the third. And Jake, like the Kansas City moves, a player who has not seen a lot of action. He is 0 for 3 in the early going this season.
And I'm sure A.J. Hinch recognized the opportunity to have him face a left-hander. Benefits the right-handed hitting Jake Marisnick.
Tyler White's on deck. At strike 1. Chris Medlin and Mike Fiers tomorrow night with a 7:10 start. Hope you'll be with us for that one. Pre-game show at 6:30. In tight on Marisnick, and it's a strike to make it 0-2. What a week for you, Blummer. You've been to the Masters. Now you get to see the home opener.
Didn't ask for anything more.
No. Marisnick is down on strikes. The Astros add on a run on 1 hit, leave a man at third base. Through 8, it's 8-2 Houston.
Is presented by authority of Houston Astros, LLC, and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Houston Astros, LLC.
Rush City has enjoyed it so far. The Astros take this 8-2 lead to the 9th inning. They've out-hit the Royals 14-10. Josh Fields comes out of the bullpen for the 9th inning. It'll be Fuentes, Escobar, Moustakas due up for Kansas City. Fields in 3 games has allowed 5 earned runs in 3 1/3 innings. Gets a foul ball for strike 1. Fuentes has been on all 3 times, 2 singles and a walk. Fields worked a hitless inning yesterday, though, in the 7th in Milwaukee. Had a couple of strikeouts and a ground out. And he felt a lot better about that one than his 2 previous outings. On the infield, it's Altuve, short right. 1 out. Josh Fields was saying when he was in the low minors, he was not making the kind of progress he wanted to make, and he was thinking about quitting at that point.
With that arm?
Yeah.
Say that last pitch, 96 miles an hour. Might be something to try and fight through.
Yeah. Well, he did. He did a lot of work on his mechanics and was able to turn things around. Alcides Escobar is 1 for 4.
A lot of times those can be situations to try and clean up what's in between the ears, too, sometimes. Refocus.
There's strike 1. I asked him what he would have done if he had quit baseball. He said, well, he wasn't too sure, but he probably would have gone back to school.
That's good news.
Might have wound up doing some coaching. He loves college baseball. He was a closer at the University of Georgia. Single through the left side, and we go to Julia Morales.
Thanks a lot, Brownie. It's time to name that Astro, brought to you by your local Honda dealer. Your clues: 1 straight for a prospect who became an actor, best known for Gilmore Girls. Be hit for the cycle in both leagues. Did you guys know this one?
Nope.
Absolutely not.
No?
No. Bob Watson.
I don't even know what Gilmore Girls is.
Yes, you do.
I have no clue. None.
It was Scott Patterson.
Oh, yeah.
Was the prospect that became an actor. Is
okay. Right? I'm taking your word for it.
Mike Moustakas the batter. There's ball 1. He is 0 for 4 tonight.
Ash would have known that one.
Oh, yeah. Where is he when we need him? Infield is shifted around for Moustakas. It's 11 hits now for Kansas City. It's a 1 ball, 1 strike count. Colin McHugh's 7 innings should go a long way now toward getting the Astros squared away for the rest of the week. At least they're hopeful that it will. Dallas Keuchel went 7 in game 1 of the season at New York, so it's the second 7 innings from a starter the Astros have had this season. And last year the Astros were ranking very high in innings pitched by starting pitchers.
Had some workhorses.
Altuve, Correa, and White. And that'll do it here on an Astros 8-2 win on the home opener. Colin McHugh goes to 1-1 with a victory. Chris Young, the loser, 0-2. And the Astros, after a 2-4 road trip, make it a 1-0 start at home in 2016. 2 more hits from Tyler White. Colby Rasmus had a couple, including a 2-run homer. 2 RBI triples in the game. Castro and Springer had those. Altuve was on base 4 times. The Astros with 14 hits won it over Kansas City 8-2.